Let's see. Welcome into another Tuesday night evening blend. Look at you. You got your blockies sound wave. I love it. And then look at that laser. What is going on, man? All right, what are you holding up first? Because I always have to go to you for full screen because that's just the way we do it here. And there you go. Gotta love it. Love it. Love it. Dude, I have that.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
I'm a quarter. I'm not even a quarter of the way of putting him together, but I do have him. After Megatron, after I put together Megatron,
Yeah,
I have to say that it is a daunting task, and you do have to spend some time
it takes some
putting it
time.
together. It does. It
But
really does.
but that one he comes with Laserbeak, Rumble, Frenzy,
Yes.
Rat Bat. It's pretty awesome.
I absolutely love it. Now, what about you? Let's see. Oh, wait, I've got it on backwards. Okay. And then what's the other one? Here we go. Explain, please.
Oh, Operation Skeletron, the Jungle Wolf Trooper. This is Marauders Gunrunners camo design that they did back with their 4-inch gaming figures line, which is really cool, compatible, swappable stuff. So this is another paint deco. This figure is so awesome. I love all the different paint decos that they did. And General Mortifo from Operation Recall.
Ooh,
The
ooh.
first one that I'm getting from this, I've got several more coming this year and probably next year because it's going to take them that long to produce them from what I put in for the Kickstarter.
Okay. I'm loving it. I'm
But
loving it, man.
finally getting some Operation Recall out there.
Well, I'm a little late to the party on these figures, but thanks to Three Star Draw and Christmas, I was able to nab the Halo Jumper,
Nice.
which I love these figures. I really do. I like the 60th anniversary and the Marine Sniper, which is a badass figure as well.
Yeah.
And so, yes, he got me those. And by the way, Three Star, yours are here right now. They actually came on Sunday. Thought I'd have them in time, but they ended up coming on Sunday. Well, no, I didn't think they'd have them on time. He had a list. Let me go back here. So he actually had a list, and I was a bit not surprised he had a list, but he did have a list. And I'm glad he did because it helped me out. What's funny is my mom was the one actually asking if there was anybody he didn't have.
Hmm.
And I was like, Mom, I couldn't tell you. I really don't know. Like, he's got everything, but he actually doesn't. And come to find out, he did have a list. And so I'm glad that that list came in handy. So, yeah, I have yours, and I just need to get them to you, Three Star, before you go back to work. So, anyway, if you can't tell, folks, my voice is a little toasty.
He transforms.
Yeah. Well, it's cool because you get that too, right? You come with a little boombox too, cassette player, and I love it. But the Megatron, I've got some back here, and he's so cool, man. Yeah, I love.
And
love,
so
love.
Laserbeak can carry him.
Yes, dude. The Blockies figures, for those of you that don't have them or are thinking about it, they're fun. They are fun. They do take some time to put together, so you need to sit down and really just have something on TV or something on your computer, and take you a few hours. They do take some time, but they are
And
really cool.
you've got to pay attention because some of the parts
Mm-hmm.
are very specific. The instructions are pretty darn good, but you just have to make sure that you are attaching things the right way, because there's little tiny things on it that will let you know if it's the correct facing way or not, which will make a huge difference later on as you go through.
Yeah, I agree, and I actually had to use a little super glue. Let's just say that. Yeah, and on a front-facing piece, which now Megatron will not be able to raise his knee and thigh up, so to speak, because it's blocked by a super glued piece of his crotch. But anyway, okay, all of that out of the way. Welcome in. Show is already in progress. If you haven't noticed, we did get started. Apologize for being a little bit late, but it's all good. Yeah, those are super cool.
And then you can get the rumblers and stick them on his arm, so he can do that one. And then he's also got the drill bits that you can swap his hands out for.
Yeah, a lot of cool accessories with those, man. And I just love them because I love that look and I love that style of the Transformers.
Yeah.
So, totally down. So let's say hello to a few people like 3-Star Draw. Those kids, it's been 10 years for Stranger Things. We're going to get into it. I have a lot to say about this show. I have a lot to say about that show, and maybe you do too. And Eric Thurman is in the house. What's up, Big E on the West Coast? Hopefully everything is good out there. Hopefully flooding and mudslides and all that hopefully is subsiding for sure. Woody says, do I detect internet issues? No, you detect vocal issues, my friend. No, it's just a little late. Just a little late, brother. Let's see. These kids have already moved out of Motu and Transformers, are into knitting and toy train collecting. Well, look, it might be my next venture, considering all the craziness that's going on again and then everything. And so maybe I will get into knitting. It seems a lot more relaxing. But from what I've heard, Matthew, the knitting community is hardcore.
They are hardcore, and they get after it. They are a bunch of knitters.
A bunch of nitwits, if I must say so myself.
Well, I mean, that was
wit.
Yeah. That was what, 3, 4, 5 years ago?
It was.
It's so forever ago that they just started running people off over weird stuff.
It was kind of political.
Oh yeah,
stuff,
very
and
political.
The knitting community became very divided. I know that sounds funny maybe to some of you, but I remember when that happened.
Yeah.
Do a Google search of some kind and just kind of see the fallout of the knitting community. Speaking of fallout, I am going to mention the Fallout TV show.
Nice.
Season 2 is up and running. Episode 2 came out the other day. Let's see here. Shane, Same Time Toys, how you doing, buddy? Brogu is here. Hope that Grogu is doing well. Had a great Christmas, like you, Brogu. Those kids qualified for social media, says Woody Triple Deuce. We'll get into it when we talk about Stranger Things. Menjoza, how you doing? Good to see you as well. Seems like everybody's liking the Halo jumper for sure, and Soundwave could be an Alexa voice. I think that was awesome, dude. I think that'd be so cool.
Halo jumper and sniper found it, Ross, this holiday season.
RossCon, #RossCon 2025.
I didn't see them for less than $16 at RossCon, but I know some people found them for less than that.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
3-star, you can do it. I will say that we do have our top 10 G.I. Joe classified list. Our versus list is coming out on his channel tomorrow at 12:31 p.m. on New Year's Eve. For anybody that's interested, that'll be coming out tomorrow afternoon. If you'd like to hear my top 10 picks, and I have a feeling next week I'm going to hear from a few of you about some of my top 10 picks. Maybe not. Let's see here. Yeah, so the Megatron, right? Defective crotch piece. Giraffe. Also, oh my bad. You got carte blanche. You know that. Yeah, Megatron has a defective crotch piece. Giraffes is my Megatron has that problem too. Can't raise his leg too high because it has I say the crotch piece, but it's like his his underwear, so to speak. Yes, that front part. Okay, one of those I actually accidentally bent it too far and I snapped it, so I just had to
Ah,
glue it straight. So one
yeah,
leg can lift, the other one cannot. That's
yeah.
kind of how that went. Yeah, start warming up that whiskey. Man, if I really started doing that, we might not finish this stream, buddy.
We definitely finish it now. What
It
kind of
just
finish? I
it
don't know.
it'd be pretty ugly. Turk Murphy is in the house.
What's up,
What's up,
Turk?
Turk? Good to see you, buddy. You read that one if you want to. How about that?
Halo Jumper is still better looking hit and run than hit and run. Darn right.
Damn.
Darn right.
That's
And
harsh.
and the weapon that he comes with is a little bit more closer to the Colt 9mm semi-automatic rifle. Okay, it is it's a Colt 9mm submachine gun is what is listed on the original package. Everybody keeps calling it an M4 this, M4 that, whatever. It's similar, but it's still a Colt 9mm.
Well, and look, I don't want to embarrass anybody with my firearm knowledge. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. But of course, I knew that. Hello.
You know who I use my Halo Jumper as? I use him as my
Ripcord.
ripcord
Okay.
when he's got his camo paint on when he's hunting Zartan on Cobra Island.
Dude, and we're gonna get it, but that's the ripcord I wanted. That's the ripcord that I need.
I mean, I personally, Crazy Legs and Ripcord Night Force. I mean, those would be the ones that I would want above the regular versions.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of the regular version of Crazy Legs, especially with the classified one coming with the weird head.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, for sure. I do. But yeah, that ripcord, that's my jam. Loved using that guy back in the day for my battles, 100%. So
Yeah, I mean, I love the camo pattern they put on them. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So we have a few news stories to get into. There's not a ton, but there's a little bit. But I really wanted to get into talking about and not a what I mean by a deep dive. I don't want to get into the weeds with Stranger Things, but I kind of want to go over if there's anything good that we liked out of this, either part one or part two of this final season. The final episode will air tomorrow, starting at 7 Eastern on Netflix, or 8 Eastern on Netflix, 7 Central, and it will be in movie theaters. Okay, for those of you, it's about what 2.5 hours long, something like that.
It's at
Over
least
two
two.
hours.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but what I did want to get into it, or get into about it, was just some of the weird choices, some of the real issues it has, not only in storytelling, but just odd pacing and really odd choices in how they chose to tell this story, especially on the back end of it.
Yep.
It really is. It is wacko, dude. And so I can't wait to get your opinion on it. And then we're going to kind of do a best and worst, or kind of a look at a few different lists from around and kind of look at some of the things that happened this year in pop culture, maybe in movies, TV, and just kind of look through some of those from the different trades that are out there. And then a couple funny videos, articles here and there. So as always, we can definitely jump into the box office, and then in a little while we're gonna look. I guess really we could do it now. We can kind of look at the biggest movies of 2025, domestic and international. Yeah, those last few episodes, as we say hello to Bobby Wold, half the episode spent between two characters and their dialogue that just did it, progress the story, didn't progress the story, as I'm guessing what that means. Yeah, we're going to get into it for sure. So as I chug some coffee, maybe go slip out and grab a water here in a second. Let's take a look at just our current, how about that? Just our current box office real quick. Not a lot to really go through, I don't think, as far as that goes. But let me see here. I think this has got us And let me readjust that. Gives a little, yeah, there we go. All right. So let's just scroll down this really quickly. Avatar, Fire and Ash, no surprise, right?
Yep.
Marty Supreme, I got to be honest with you. I really don't know much about Marty Supreme. Do you know much about Marty Supreme?
A24? No, I never heard of it. I have no idea.
Right past my radar. The Housemaid, if I'm not mistaken, that is a Sydney Sweeney.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Amanda Seyfried or Seyfried or however you want to pronounce it.
Sure.
Double or quadruple billing, in my opinion. And then we have David, which is Angel Studios, going to be a religious-based film on David. It is the story of David and Goliath.
Yep, I think we're going to go see that on New Year's Day.
Cool, man. I mean, it's animated, and if you know the story, you know the story, right?
Yeah, they keep adding theaters because it's been doing pretty good. So,
52 million after 11 days for a religious-based film, I'd say is probably pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Especially on the back end of December. Yes, right around Christmas, but on the back end of December when it's kind of the dead period for movies, that's pretty darn good in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anaconda, I've heard really a disappointment for those that were hoping for a comedic, really super comedic take on that film that years ago came out.
Yeah.
With Ice Cube and everything. This Paul Rudd and Jack Black helmed production. Not really cutting it.
Yeah. No.
What's that?
I'm surprised that the what's his name? The Hugh Jackman movie isn't on there. The Neil Diamond one.
Oh yes. Well, it is Song Sung Blue.
Which
is a Neil Diamond song coming in at number 8.
There we
actually
go.
A great song.
Yeah.
Neil Diamond was really looked at as a goofball. No, I don't think a lot of artists took him seriously, but he was extremely mainstream popular. Extremely mainstream.
Yeah.
And then Five Nights at Freddy's really kind of, pulling up with the, say in the top 10. There's a couple ties here and there, but we'll finish it off at Five Nights at Freddy's 2. 119 million domestic after a month. The budget wise, I don't know what they spent. We don't have to dig into it, but still a popular enough franchise for kids, evidently, to go out and check out. Probably made on a decently cheap budget, I would assume.
But you know what I want to see? I want to see the Sheep Detectives.
Okay, heard about it.
It looks hilarious.
Heard about it,
another Hugh Jackman,
right?
And it looks like a live action Shaun the Sheep, if you know what that is, which is by the makers of Wallace and Gromit.
Yes,
it looks pretty fun.
Well, I can tell you something else that I want to see, and see more of, is a little bit of this.
Monica.
No, I want to see more of this in 2026. And there you go, kids. Trust me, throughout the stream, you will get your Sydney Sweeney fix tonight. Anyway, so let's look at let's take a look at kind of our domestic for the year of 2025, and just kind of go over the let's see here, our top grossing. Let's see. Let me pull this bad boy up. I just had it. I think I actually got rid of it. No, actually I did. Hang on. Give me 2 secs, y'all. My bad. It's all good. Anyway, vamp for a second, buddy.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of movies out there, and ultimately for me, it comes down to the worldwide box office for the year, because the domestic one, honestly, doesn't mean a whole lot to me. The worldwide is how much of an impact did this thing make in the world, and seeing the top 10 from the worldwide box office,
Right.
really is fascinating to me.
All right. So let's take a look real quick. Top grossing movies of 2025. Now, this is going to be our domestic box office. And it actually has tickets sold.
Yep, I like that.
I do
It's
too.
awesome.
Minecraft movie. Now, I don't know if this is, this is just domestic. This isn't international. So if we're
Right.
looking at just here, $423 million for the Minecraft movie. And Lilo and Stitch right behind it. Superman, surprisingly for some of you, came in at third this year. The year is not over,
Yeah.
but I don't think Fire and Ash is going to just crush it tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Um,
So the blue people and the green witches let us down because they were supposed to do
yeah,
so much better than they did.
yeah, and not just let us down, but obviously let their parent production companies down.
Well, Avatar's gonna still come out doing just okay, I think, but it's gonna do
it
pretty well.
it will. I think it's going to drop off, unlike the last two. But
Yeah.
if you really look at after Minecraft movie and Lilo and Stitch, it's a pretty good drop domestically. Not just in tickets sold with a little under 6 million after those two films,
Yeah.
but then you start getting. And I don't know how you guys feel about a lot of these films, but if you really look at it, you look at Jurassic World Rebirth, I think was a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
Uh, Wicked for Good, you know who that audience is,
Well,
right?
but it was also a huge disappointment based off of the sales tickets of the first part. So this is
Absolutely.
yeah, they are not happy with the second part for sure.
And I think people that have seen the play understand that like the second part of it is kind of the weaker part
Yeah.
of the play, and I think there's a lot of people who are really hyped about that first kind of part of it, second part not so much, and that follows form in the films. Zootopia 2, no
Yep.
surprise there. Sinners, back in April. Sinners, that's a good sign. It was a good movie. I didn't think it was a great movie,
Right. Yeah.
but I thought it was a solid movie. Fantastic Four in the top 10, but under $275 million domestic.
Yep.
G.I. Jetman, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
What's up, man?
How to Train Your Dragon, no surprise there.
Well, a little bit because I think people were expecting that one to do a lot better than it did. Also.
I agree with you. I guess my no surprise there is maybe in the top 10. Maybe not
Yeah.
where it finished,
Sure.
but just in that top 10.
Well, I'm thinking about the total gross for this year is a disappointment too.
These are all a disappointment.
Yeah.
I mean, when we look at domestic and 423 is your top domestic,
Yeah.
Minecraft movie made just under $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
And so that means internationally, the Minecraft movie did better than it did here, which I'm a bit shocked with that number, honestly.
Yeah.
Captain America,
Yeah. That's
coming in
that's
at
going
number
to go so
11.
far.
What a disaster.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
And honestly,
truly.
Mission Impossible was kind of a big letdown too. They were expecting a lot more from that one too.
Yeah, it's Mission Impossible. You're right. Thunderbolts. I think it did exactly what everybody thought it would do,
Yep.
which was not a lot.
F1 should have done better than it did.
I think internationally, that the open wheel racing internationally is so much bigger.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah,
then
I get it.
you attach Brad Pitt to that project,
Yeah.
and I think internationally, yes, gonna just crush it.
Yeah, but even domestically, I feel like it should have done better because it's a good movie. It's got notable character names in it, and
Right.
there is a large enough F1 population that in this country that I'm actually surprised about that one. I'm super happy about Weapons. I think Weapons did an
I
amazing
love it.
job.
Love it,
So
love
yeah,
it, love it. It's for what it is and what it was able to do, and it's a fun film. If you haven't seen Weapons yet, look it up and watch it.
it's
It's
good.
fun. It is gory in some parts, but it's also not that ultra serious
Right.
gore, right? Like even the scenes where there are still are so kind of you're just watching it going like, okay, what? Like
Yeah.
what am I watching right now? But yeah, fun film for sure. And then, but yeah, Conjuring, then Weapons, Final Destination, the Demon Slayer, Kimetsu, internationally again huge.
Yeah. Huge.
And then, as we kind of get down, we won't go through all of them, but there are a few other surprises that I thought would have done well, such as Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I thought that would have done well, at least better. I thought 28 years later may have done better, coming in at 31.
Yeah, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie was still pretty good, but it's the third one in a franchise, and you've got diminishing returns every time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have the same hype behind it. Also, I don't think they promoted it very well because I feel like that also it was released it early in the year too. So that's the other big issue.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it really is where these do drop. I think if I look at Predator Badlands, that
Yeah.
didn't surprise me. I thought
No.
maybe it'd be lower, but then you have like
Yeah.
Elio, right? Out of Disney, I thought maybe that might have done a bit better.
Was that on the list? I didn't see it. What was that?
29.
29. Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Oh, yeah.
29.
Actually, because based on the content that was there, I'm surprised it did that well. I mean, it was a really bad movie. So
It seems that Disney's lost their way on the animation front and are getting passed over.
yeah, when
really.
when they railroaded Lassiter is kind of when that all fell apart.
Right. So then, really after that, Moana 2, I think, was a letdown for Disney. Then because it only finished one spot ahead of the number 37 film Naked Gun.
Yeah,
And now the Naked Gun, I had fun with. I
yeah,
enjoyed that
that's fun.
movie. And no, it's not perfect. Is it as funny as the first one or second? I don't think so, but it did have some good gags that had me and my son laughing throughout the entire movie.
Yeah,
Karate Kid Legends, I think that was a disappointment coming off of Cobra Kai. I really did.
I don't know what they really expected with that. I mean, they were trying to reboot the whole thing, and I don't
Right.
know. I mean, they have a great TV show, and they should have just kept it with that. I don't think that they needed to try and relaunch the whole franchise again. But corporations are corporate. They're going to keep a hold of their franchises, until they squeeze every drop of whatever's left in
Oh,
it.
100%. I mean, but I gotta say, there is another surprise on here for me, considering it's only been out for a short period of time. You have David at 39,
39. Yeah.
finishing before Nosferatu, which I saw. Now they're throwing this on here. It did come out
I was gonna say that was
Christmas of last year.
right. That's the last year
Um,
movie.
Yeah,
But,
even Moana 2, but they
yeah.
are counting this into 2025.
Okay.
Now, yeah, I don't know what metric, I don't know what maybe it's saying, hey, if it's only a week into last year, then you really can't get a full box office picture off of that. Maybe,
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure.
But other than that, man, I mean, Wicked finished 49th. But that's November of last year. So yeah, that metric really is a little bit confusing. But
Yeah.
so most of those we know. Is there anything on there that just knocked it out of the park if we truly look at this list?
Nothing.
2025 was an awful year for film.
Yes.
Awful year for film. I
Yep.
firmly, and I don't know how anybody could argue with that. It just was. Not saying there wasn't a good one here or there. Bad.
Yeah. I mean, the box office is just a sad state of affairs of where we're at right now, and it doesn't bode
Yes.
well. And I would imagine that next year we're going to lose probably half the cinemas that we have out there right now.
Yeah, no, it is a real thing, and I saw recently one of the say CEOs of the Alamo Draft House, I think, or the owner came out recently and was kind of discussing that and look, man, like I just I don't think anything's going to save movie theaters, not as a whole.
Look, you have to have a concerted effort. You have to have movie studios that are producing uh, a high grossing film every month of the year to save the theaters this time. Every single month there needs to be a film that everybody wants to go see, that you're selling, that makes over $200 million every month. If not, then these theaters are going to go out of business.
Well, and if we just look back, the variation of film that we used to get to,
Yeah.
right? It's just the different types of films that were made that actually were quality, movies. Maybe didn't have the highest budget, didn't want to have the highest budget, but did a great job of what they had. If you just go back through the last, let's say, 30 years,
Yeah.
maybe even less, you can really see a delineation when the Marvel stuff started to get popular. That is when studios started going all in on tent poles.
So I had this discussion with somebody who was railing against my opinion on Stranger Things online, and I said it all went downhill when the movie studios went corporate and they blasted back and they said, well, I've been watching movie advertisements and blah 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 since 1967 or whatever. And I'm like, look, there's one thing when you're advertising to make money, and there's another thing when you've sold your soul to the corporate demons, right? And it said, when did this happen? Okay, 2009, 2010, 12, 18. These are all major points of things that happened. Okay. Before that, it was 89 when Warner Brothers bought DC Comics. 1989. Okay. That was one of the first tipping points, right? You also have when AT&T bought Warner Brothers.
Sure.
Okay. You also have in 2010 when MGM went bankrupt and sold to a holding company, right? Who then later got absorbed into another company, right? So all these shell companies get absorbed, right? 2009 is when Disney bought Marvel Comics. 2011, I think, is when Disney bought Lucasfilm, right? And if you look at a film made in the 1990s to the early 2000s, and you look at the number of producers that are on those films, you will find 3 to 6 producers on those films. If you look at a film after that 2012, 2016 kind of time frame, you will have dozens. You will have 20 or more producers on films. Every time a producer gets added to a producer's name gets added to that, it's because he or she made a change to the movie to justify their job and justify their, $100,000, $500,000 salary, whatever their salary is.
Okay.
They're justifying it by adding 2 cents to change the film. And then it becomes this corporate homogeny of things when you have 27 producers. I looked at Point Break, 1991, 6 producers. 2015, 24 producers.
Damn.
Okay. Different era, more producers, and you get shit-tastic movies because this is the corporate sellout process.
Okay, it reminds me of the music industry and
yes.
songwriting.
Oh, yeah, same thing.
Because now, and in Nashville, for those that don't know, there is a handful of writers. And if, let's say you, Matthew, are a new writer and you write a great song and you want to get it out there, it's going to go through 7 or 8 or 12 other people who are going to change a word or a phrase here or there in your song, not making it better, but only to be able, if you want that song to be able to get in somebody's hands, you have to give up part of your credit to someone else. And it is like a mafia here. It really, truly is. And that, it's very similar to that.
Yep.
Is if you want something to get made and greenlit, so to speak, Everyone has to get their piece of the pie. It's unavoidable, and there's nothing you can do about it. And the thing of it is, it stifles creativity.
Yep.
It doesn't make the movie or the song better. It's just someone else needs to get paid. They need their cut. And it's just like a mafia protecting a business, right? Even though you don't need protection, you need protection from them, so you have to pay them to keep them from busting you up your store.
I mean, it's a pyramid scheme. It's
Right.
it's Mary Kay. It's whatever. It's this idea that everybody's got to get their piece and everybody makes money, but that's not the way it ends up working. That's not how you get quality. I'll say that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's interesting the correlation between the two, but it is very similar in certain ways.
Yeah.
Dreadnought K6, yeah, Gamergate really broke open the woke era. I think a lot of people that
Comicsgate.
are Comicsgate, Gamergate, like, and I hate that term gate.
It's
just
stupid.
adding it to everything.
Right.
But there's a lot of people who maybe were on the outside or fringe of really paying attention to some of this stuff. Once they started seeing those phrases over and over, it either clued them in to what was going on, and they either went one way with it, which saw how ridiculous it was, or they went the other way, which is that they believed all of it.
Yeah.
And then, got indoctrinated into
Well,
that.
so and there's connotation with all the language that we use. Specific language denotes connotation. So people come in there and they say that word makes me feel this way, and so they attach feelings to it. And then there are other people that have flipped the script and see it for what it is and understand what satire is. And that's a big thing. Is there's a lot of people that don't understand satire, that don't understand what comedy is. And all the stuff gets lost because of the nuance of the language and the understanding, because we're doing this through a digital medium. Through text, you can't convey that. On streams, you can kind of convey it sometimes, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes it doesn't come through all that well. And then, we also have the lowering IQs. So, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, and look, we don't have to get into that, but I am with you. That I agree with you on all of those fronts. And Graf is really stoked about Motu. However, feels like it's probably going to stink, since the lead said that He-Man is a handshake between what traditional masculinity and femininity are. He-Man should be masculine. I agree. That's it. And it is in the name. I agree 100%. We will see how that movie turns out and what they've done with it. I know the Earth part of it, I'm just really so out. I'm so out on that.
Look, I've got not a whole lot to judge it on just yet, because we don't.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't know much about what's going to happen with it. But based on those kind of statements, that makes me not want to see it. So I'm like, these people just need to close their mouths and put it out there and say, we made this, we like it, check it out.
Don't bring up the masculinity and the toxic crap, and don't bring up, just put the fucking movie out.
Yeah.
And let people make up their own minds about it.
Because as soon as you say that, now you've tainted the movie forever. One way or the other, because you're going to piss off half the people one way, and you're going to make the other half expect something that may or may not actually even be there.
And you're right. That is true, because we really have nothing. I mean, we've not gotten anything
not a whole
about
lot
that film at all. Now, I wanted to bring up what is the top 20 or the top worldwide box office of 2025.
There we go. Yep.
'Twas pressure that broke open Ocean Gate. That is very true. Oh, gosh.
Ocean Man.
I wasn't expecting that out of you. And yes, I didn't love Superman. I liked Superman, Graf. Let's not get it confused.
I didn't even like it. So
I know you didn't. So just looking at the worldwide here, as we've got it up on the screen.
This is the tail of the tape right here. This is fascinating to me to see this on here. The number one grossing film in the world. None of you have seen.
I know I have not
I
seen
seriously
it.
doubt none of any of you have seen it. But guess what? It just popped up on Netflix, so we can watch it now on Netflix this weekend if you want to. It's an animated film.
Now look, I love animated. I love anime. But I will say this. Um, I worry about the localization
Yes.
because so often it's terrible.
Yep.
So often that phrases intentionally get changed into something that it does
Well,
not mean.
well, so yeah, let's look at what happened in the gaming industry. And then when the original developers see how they were translated into English, and if they know enough English, they're backlashing against these translation companies saying, "What are you doing?" And it says, "Well, we're making this for American audiences, and so we have to change entire character arcs into character development into something that was never intentionally there in the original language because it wouldn't sell anywhere in the world, and the United States people will just accept it."
Yeah.
And so they mistranslate things, and they put their own spin on it to create their own story. And this goes back to Don Messick creating Robotech out of Macross and throwing three disparate series together to make one continuity that's kind of a jumbled mess.
You would have to know that if someone is doing localization, depending on who that person is and whether or not they can kind of get that into a film. I don't believe in people proofread anymore. I don't believe editors look at anything. If you look at your online articles, and I believe that even in some streaming shows and films, that no one is checking these people whose job it is to do the localization, and so sneaking in certain things, passing something around. The boss, I believe, happens. We've seen cases of it happen. Todd C. Yeah, Nija is, it is Chinese, right? But here's the thing. Look at those numbers.
Yep.
Right. I mean, look at those numbers. 2 billion. And then we get into some familiar territory, right? Zootopia 2, Lilo and Stitch, Minecraft movie.
So we know why Zootopia 2 was such a success worldwide, right?
Honestly, I mean, you can jog my memory because I'm sure I have heard or seen this on a stream, but jog my memory and I'll see if I remember what you're
in China.
You're talking about.
One of the largest theme parks that exists in China is a Zootopia theme park.
Okay.
And then you take a well-known famous Chinese actor and you make him one of the lead characters in the movie.
Yeah.
And he hasn't had a career in almost 40 years, but all of a sudden he's back with a vengeance now. After Everything Everywhere All at Once. I got you, huh?
Yeah. Okay. So me personally, I'm like Zootopia 2, animated. Look at Lilo and Stitch, animated, right? Like Demon Slayer, animated. Of course, if you look even further down at 15, 17, right, you're gonna see those parentheses right there.
Yeah, but you see Minecraft. I don't understand the Minecraft movie, but I guess that's pretty popular overseas also. So people want to see that. You've got dinosaurs, of course. Dinosaurs are going to rock wherever you send it.
Avatar,
and
for
then
sure.
Avatar is only making money overseas. It's not even making money here domestically.
I agree. If you look at those numbers, if you look at worldwide, and you look up, 614 million to 423 for Lilo and Stitch. I mean, look at the domestic for Zootopia 2.
Yeah.
1 billion to 321. I mean, look, here's the deal though.
And F1, the international audience took what I was saying to heart, and they went out and supported F1 because Brad Pitt was in it, and it did really well overseas. It's like, that's awesome. Love it.
And I do love this chart because they have the domestic share percentage onto the side for you. So if you were curious, I mean, it is a good resource to look at and just kind of get an idea of where box office is, what is playing internationally, what are they into, and so just a good resource from the numbers to kind of take a look. So really, 2025, not that impressive.
Yeah, I know.
Overall, theaters did very poorly, but internationally they had some success with their domestic.
Domestic
Let's see here. I want to say hey to Todd C. is in the house. Happy New Year to you too. And Todd came here to dox me. You are correct. I did start a nail salon / massage parlor in Memphis. I transferred it to Nashville, where I specialize in pedicures. And yeah, you got me, Todd. God, it just doesn't end, does it? I don't know what color aura David Cornsweat has, but I know what color underwear David Cornsweat has. Hello, silly. They're red. They're red. Golly. I thought you of all people would understand.
I don't know. His name is Corn Sweat. I don't know that. I mean, it could.
Yeah, that could be bad. They might not be so red after all.
Maybe tinged with a little brown. I don't know.
Oh no, it's off the rails. It's officially off the rails. Okay. So a couple articles really quickly, but before I do that, folks, I have to treat you to something. I absolutely do. I have to treat you to something. I think y'all will fully enjoy this. Get ready.
Everybody gets a cookie.
Everybody get ready for the tongue choir.
Oh.
One of those guys does not have a girlfriend.
Of course, I know what this is because the one directly in the middle is supposed to have Baldylocks' face pasted on it because they use this on the Circle of Churns.
I don't even know how in the hell I came across this, but I'm glad I did. That's how you came across
it. Is because you watch Circle of Jerks and they use that clip and they put Baldylocks' face on the middle one.
The algorithm.
It found it for you.
It found it for me on Instagram of all things. Or maybe I was at home looking up tongue choirs. You never know. I'll never tell.
It just kept hearing you listen to the Licky Baldy, and it kept popping up all the time. And so then it said, okay, we're going to throw you
a Licky Baldy down. Oh, God bless it, America. Okay. 2 articles and one thing I want to mention, and then we're going to jump right into Stranger Things. First things first, I came across an article, Matthew, that I thought was one of the goofiest freaking things I've ever seen. Let's see here. Come on. Let me sign in really quickly. There we go. I had to sign in. I had to create an account for the Washington Post because I wanted to make sure I could look at this article. Okay.
What's up, Tony?
Tony's Figs. What's up, buddy? Okay. This article.
That we played the original clip, not the Baldy clip.
Oh, God. To appreciate new Frankenstein creations, read the correct version. Even Mary Shelley rewrote her own work. 2 very different versions survive today. The gist of this article is basically saying, and we're not going to go through this whole thing, I just wanted to bring this up to you, is that Frankenstein is he an incel? Is Frankenstein an incel? Okay.
He's a monster. He's come on. What does incel mean?
Well, he's celibate, involuntarily celibate. Okay?
So I mean, clearly he had to have been because he was a monster, and he demanded that Dr. Frankenstein make him a bride, right?
Feminist scholars rediscovered the works of Shelley and other Romantic era women writers. The 1818 edition drew new attention and became more available. The Open Syllabus Archive may make it clear that Frankenstein is the most widely taught work of fiction in American colleges and universities. However, it says there's two different versions. And it says that in 1818, the creature accidentally kills Victor's younger brother, William, while trying to silence his screams. In 1831, upon learning the boy's name, the creature declares, "You shall be my first victim," before intentionally murdering him. But what I think this article is trying to say is that somehow Frankenstein is involuntarily celibate, but he's a monster. It even says here it's like a conniving creep. Like instead of a peaceful creature, he's a conniving creep. It is extremely strange to try to make the argument that Frankenstein is an incel. Like, I just don't even.
This is why I hate deconstructionism, right? Because you try to put modern context on historical writings or previous works. You try to bring it up to what you believe now and how you see the world now, and try to put it through the lens and say, this is what they thought then. This is how you do that. Same thing happened with Stranger Things. And that's when you ruin something, is when you start deconstructing it or trying to put a modern lens on something that's historical or happened in the past or in a different time. And historical anachronisms happen all the time, and I get it. It's kind of fun to explore sometimes. A Knight's Tale, that's fun. The Sherlock Holmes, the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies, that's fun, right?
I mean,
but this is too much.
I think this is a case of trying to go back in time,
yes,
and read into
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And we talk about it a lot. But really trying to read into something that was made at a time where people didn't use the language, they didn't use know the terminology. No one in 1818 would know or use the term incel or have any clue what even that means. Not even a thing.
No, it is a thing. It's when you were put in prison for life. You were in a cell.
Hey. Good call there, buddy. Yeah, good call. Let's see, January 27th. I got to tell you, G.I. Jet, man, I'm not going to lie to you. I really have no interest in Wonder Man. I'm not going to lie to you. I do think it is. So you
know who the original Wonder Man was supposed to be, right?
What, the casting?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember. I don't remember who it was.
So back in phase 2 of Marvel, they had cast Wonder Man, and they had begun production. It hadn't started, but they were working on it, and it was put out there saying, hey, we're going to release this in a couple of years. It was Nathan Fillion.
You know what? I do recall that. I will also say that the show was supposed to come out weekly. It was supposed to be a weekly release, and now they're going to dump it all on the 27th. It is all going to come out, I think. You'll be able to stream every episode in one night. But I hope they don't I hope they don't have a Christmas episode. Like you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like actually have a Christmas themed episode, and they drop it in late January. There's a reason they're dropping this in late January. There's a reason why they backed it up from a weekly release, because I don't think they have any faith in it.
No, they don't. Yeah.
And so no, G.I. Joe, man, it's not because I wouldn't want to watch it with you, anything like that. But I don't know if it's a show that I think I could get through the whole show. Now the premiere, obviously, might be worth watching the premiere to get an idea of it, but it also premieres on a night when me and Matthew are streaming, because it comes out on a Tuesday night. So it would be difficult for me to do that night anyway.
Well, and let's, break it down for a minute. Okay. So, since the recasting was done, and the people that are now in charge of it, we know that they don't know what humor is. They don't know what satire is. They don't know what Wonder Man is supposed to be. And it is a satire. It's like a Booster Gold type of satire for Marvel, right? And
And
so,
hard to pull off. It's hard to
it's
pull that off.
and Nathan Fillion could pull it off. This person that they've got cast now, I don't know if they can pull it off or not, but I know Nathan Fillion could have done it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with it, but I don't have much interest in watching it, especially with their release schedule. They're going to drop it all at once. It's a fire and forget, like somebody said earlier.
I do think that you can gather a lot from that release, just knowing that they them doing that and changing that schedule. Then that is a signal. That is a bat signal in the air to everybody that they don't believe in it at all, and therefore they're just going to dump it all at once, and it's going to be at the end of January where they can kind of just, it's probably not going to get a lot of attention. But the premiere, I think not a lot, but I think people will tune in to see what it's all about. For sure. I do. Let's see. And G.I. Jetman says, I do have to watch it because Wonder Man was one of my favorite characters. And look, when we get into Fallout here in a minute, trust me when I tell you, I fully understand.
Wonder Man one of your favorite characters? He's one of the most obscure Marvel characters ever.
I do know that there's a lot of people that maybe when it comes to X-Men, maybe when it comes to other, properties that for some reason, like there's people that are really into Chitara, right? Or there's, people that are really into, Toad or, whatever, right? It's like everybody's kind of got their favorite kind of thing. But Wonder Man, I'll be honest, I really didn't know a lot about that character at all. Honestly, so I was kind of hoping maybe they'd do something to expand on it and make it a good show. And if you're a big Avengers fan, then you're probably going to know about a lot of those characters.
Yes.
Did you see this? All these years later, Matthew, Sigourney Weaver is letting everybody know she stood up to James Cameron on the Aliens set after he scolded a young actor. Quote, when you yell at an actor, you yell at all of us.
I'm calling bullshit.
I'm calling straight bullshittery on this too.
Listen, if you guys know who Sigourney Weaver is and who she was, even back then, she was one of the largest anti-gun activists that there existed out there. She didn't want anything to do with firearms or machismo stuff or anything like that. She wanted to be as far away from that as possible. And James Cameron and Gail Ann Hurd made her go out to the firing range, made her fire weapons, made her do the scene with Michael Biehn and learning to use the pulse rifle, and had her use firearms in this movie. Okay. She wasn't standing up to nothing in 1985, 1986.
She was getting a check. And
she's
she was doing what she was supposed to be told.
Yeah.
And maybe we need more actors getting yelled at by directors for not doing what they're supposed to do, which is act.
Yeah.
The story here is in 1986 is Aliens. It says that Cameron was new to the franchise and was butting heads on set with a young female actor who was struggling with some of the props. I sort of trembled up to him and I said, this is her quote, when you yell an actor, you yell at all of us. So understand that what she was doing actually was very hard. Maybe shoot something else while she gets used to doing this stuff the way you want it. Weaver remembered.
Okay, so
hang on. Cameron took her advice, and then she added, he's a good guy. I really do think Jim has mellowed. Now, we've gotten no confirmation of this story from anyone else, but fire away, dude.
I have 20 hours of documentary footage of the filming of Aliens. Nowhere, anywhere in there is there ever discussion of anything like this happening, because if he was yelling at a young actress, who was he yelling at? Was he yelling at Sigourney? Was he yelling at Newt? Was he yelling at what's her name? the woman posing as the
Oh,
Hispanic woman,
yeah, Vasquez,
Vasquez,
yeah.
right? So or Spunkmeyer, or not Spunkmeyer, the pilot woman. Those are the only women on that set, right? The conflicts that James Cameron had to deal with weren't with the actors except for James Raymar. Okay, when you had to fire James Raymar for his drug problems and hire Michael Biehn to come in and do this, and the support staff, the British crews that don't work like American crews, that he had to build trust with, and that took a long time to build that trust so that they wouldn't just walk out and abandon him on set. James Cameron had a whole lot of other things to worry about on that set, and Gale Anne Hurd was trying to wrangle him in to keep the budget on track while they're making this movie. And so you go through all these interviews and all these behind the scenes and all these things that happen on set. When did this happen? Who did it happen to? Can you corroborate this story with anyone? Because I think you're spewing a lot of bullshit here, Sigourney. Now, if you're saying you chewed his ass on Avatar for something like that, I can see that, because
Sure.
you're almost a bigger name than he is when he makes Avatar, the first one. But anyway,
I just think that this is one of those things of maybe just not really remembering something, but maybe it sounds good coming from you to kind of stand up and say, actors have feelings too. I don't know. And again, no one's really, corroborated this.
Yes.
Now, look, this is not unusual on movie sets.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of money at stake. There is a lot of pressure, and especially for a director in particular, there's a lot of pressure because it could very well mean your career. I know actors have made bombs, and yes, that has cost some people their careers. But for the most part, actors are able to really go and choose different roles. Directors is not quite that simple. And yeah, when you're dealing with that kind of money, you're dealing with a schedule that you have to look. Think of how many of these actors aren't ready to come out from their trailer.
Yeah,
because they're not ready yet for
exactly
this scene, or maybe they're doing drugs, or maybe they're banging somebody, or maybe they're just an asshole.
Ben Affleck's got the dead hookers in the trailer, right?
Okay, and then multiply that times how many actors, extras, then you have camera crews. You're the director. You know what that means? You're directing everyone. That's a high-pressure fucking job, right? So, to me, I think this is some bullshit. I think it's like, hey, let me tell this story. I'd love to hear Jim Cameron's take on this, if this is in fact true.
And I've heard this roundabout weird discussion between Sigourney, Gale, and James, and their different perceptions of things that happened at the time, right? And so you can see when stuff like that happens, and you can see a difference in perspective on everyone's part. Like the whole thing with H.R. Giger, sorry, in the Aliens movie, why he wasn't included, and everybody's got a different interpretation of that. H.R. Giger says one thing, Gale Anne Hurd says another, James Cameron says a third. Right. So right. It's always the telephone game and perception. Right. Yeah. But I will tell you this. Never, ever in film did anyone yell at the director for anything, because that was their livelihood. That was their job. And you could be fired and blackballed from all of Hollywood if you yelled at a director. Up until about 2010, like we were talking about earlier, when the corporate producer thing took over and they got sensitivity people in there and everybody's crying in corners all the time. And that's when Joss Whedon got canceled, because he yelled at somebody at some point because he needed to make a movie in a timely fashion. Right. And so, this is all retroactive nonsense.
And I think we also have to understand that the actors are the ones we're going to hear from the most. The actors are the ones that you're going to get the most press, right? So, and of course, since Me Too, right? It is
J.J. Abrams,
right? I mean, it's believe all women. And I think that anytime you get someone who has been successful, right? A lot of us like her. A lot of us like her films. We think she's done a great job in most everything she's been in, right? She's been in a lot of great films. I just really, at this stage of life, I just feel like, number one, what's the point
Right.
right?
Why are you
Like
telling
why
us this now?
why are you telling us now, right? And maybe it was somewhat of a throwaway comment, but at the same time it's
Nothing's a
something like
throwaway
that's going to
comment
get,
for these people, and they know
especially
it.
now. Yeah, it is all for it is definitely all
Look,
for
she had to one up Sarah Connor. What's her
Oh
name?
God, dude, I can't.
Linda
Okay,
Hamilton.
okay, okay, okay. I can't wait to get into Stranger Things because I have some serious fucking problems with
Well,
that show,
so
and she's one of them.
yeah. Well, Sigourney Weaver had to one up Linda Hamilton based off of her comments recently about why she wants to show every wrinkle that she has because she's a real person and this is what real people look like.
Because of
And
what she looks like in the show and all that stuff. Whatever. I give a
whatever.
fuck less
I
about
don't
that. I
care
don't
about
care.
that nonsense. But Linda Hamilton got her name in there, so Sigourney Weaver's got to throw 2 cents in there. She's got to get back on top because
Hey, you might be right.
I'm the queen bitch. You're gonna
You,
listen to
yeah,
me.
you might be right. Did want to say hello to Joe Fan 84. What's going on, Joe Fan? Good to see you, buddy. So yeah. So look. Last thing I want to bring up, and I want to jump into it. Networks take another blow in fighting against Sling's day passes. So let me show you this really quickly and just kind of cover this. Would you like to pay, Matthew, for like, let's say there's a football game or a day's worth of football games that you want to watch? Would you pay $4.99 for a Saturday all day to maybe watch football all day, if that's what you were into? Okay. Let's say you wanted to buy a weekend pass for like $10.99. Well, so Sling TV has been trying to offer. Let's see here, page unresponsive. There we go. Thank you very much. Okay, so a judge has been ruling against Warner Brothers, Disney, other companies because Sling TV is trying to offer these short-term day passes to people. And basically, what it is that day passes allow consumers to purchase full live TV subscriptions for as little as 24 hours at a time, rather than committing to a full month of most services require. Disney tried to fight it, Warner tried to fight it, and judges struck both of these things down because it's over what constitutes a subscription.
Yep.
Is a subscription for a day? Is it for a month? Is it for a year? And because of that, a judge has struck down both of these objections by Disney and Warner Brothers, and they're saying, hey, if Dish wants to offer a day pass, then they can do that. Now you know why, and I know why Disney and Warner have a problem with that, because those are the most expensive channels on cable television. Right,
Streaming.
ESPN is extremely expensive, and when you pay for the sports package, it subsidizes Hallmark Channel, it subsidizes Lifetime Movie Network, right? A lot of those channels that don't make money, but because they're able to charge you $6.99 a month for ESPN or whatever it is on cable, then that presents a problem for Disney and Warner, and like, let's say HBO Max or HBO rather, whatever. They're not getting their full amount of money. And so this is a good thing. I think this is a good thing. If people want to watch the Super Bowl, you know what I mean? Like one day, I think it's great. You know, Joe Fan, it'll never be $5 a month. But if there's something you really wanted to watch, and I think live sports is really the main target here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Disney, of course, owns ESPN and ABC, who do show live sports quite often.
Right.
And so, yeah, hey, I thought that was very interesting.
I'm all for this because if I'm like interested and I'm like, hey, I want to watch this hockey game, I want to watch this football game, whatever, and I can't get it on any of the streaming services I currently pay for, but I can pay $5 and I can watch this game right now. Hell yeah, I'm gonna pay $5 and I'm gonna watch the game. Why?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Because it's cheaper than a movie ticket. You know, it's cheaper than going out and getting some fast food. I'm going to pay $5 and I'm going to spend 2 hours watching this thing or whatever, however long it takes. And I'm going to enjoy it because that's what I wanted to watch. And if I'm going to pay $5 for it, fine, I'll pay $5 for it.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. And I think it is a great idea. And You
I
know,
like it.
no, you're not getting your full month or your full year or whatever, but if you get enough people to decide they want to purchase a day or a day, it might lead to them purchasing a month. Maybe
Maybe.
it purchase a weekend. So I think it's a good idea. This is something that I know has DirecTV was wanting to do, and it kind of got shut down. They were in a fight with Disney over it. I know that Dish was wanting to do this. I think that you're probably going to start seeing this a la carte thing that we've all
Yes.
been asking for cable TV for
Forever.
years.
Yes.
For years. Yes, I can't wait to watch the Golden Globes. You're right. All those award shows. God.
And you know what? All you guys right now can go to Amazon and pay $5 and rent Retro Freaks 2 and watch it. Or if you haven't seen Retro Freaks 1, pay the same $5, watch Retro Freaks 1, then pay another $5 and watch Retro Freaks 2. Or for $20, you can buy them and own them digitally on Amazon. So go do that and watch some of my friends and Just Jeff and a whole bunch of other people in a horror movie that's fun.
Right? I mean, look, it's I like it, but look, if you really want to watch something, there are ways to find it. Trust me,
There
you
always
can.
are.
You absolutely can.
And you know what? And for me personally, I would rather do it legally than not. You know, for me
I
personally,
sure,
if I can spend $5 legitimate dollars and purchase this to watch this one thing, this one time or whatever,
right.
I'd rather do that than sail the high seas because there's so much more baggage attached to that and potential risk that you're exposing yourself to and all kinds of stuff. So
you are correct. And Joe Fan 84, the screaming at the TV all red faced and foaming at the mouth over the Super Bowl or over sports, that's the fun part. I mean, that's the fun part. And at the end of the day, you know, hey, your team loses, they lose. It is what it is. Trust me, I felt it on Sunday. I will say no more. Yeah, 3-Star had the Amazon decide to remove something he purchased. That you know,
so I heard about this.
That is wild, dude. Yeah, we talked about it.
So people have purchased Star Trek and things like that from Amazon, and Amazon has removed it all because it's a part of the digital rights thing. Mm-hmm. So when you purchase something on a streaming service or digitally, you purchase something digitally, it is only as good as that license is good for. So as long as that server exists, as long as that provider still maintains a license to carry this product. If that product changes, then it's gone. And it's gone forever, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's no recourse.
And, you know, we say get physical media, but there, you know, some of the stuff is really difficult to track down. And if you're, you know, maybe lucky enough to have it come up on a platform, you can buy it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if they get rid of it, they get rid of it.
People have spent hundreds, maybe even close to thousands of dollars to purchase every season and every episode of every Star Trek episode ever on Amazon. Now they're all gone. They're gone. You don't have it anymore.
And we talked about it. Video games are under the same. They fall under the same thing. I mean, once it's not supported, it is gone forever. And really, for movie preservation and video game preservation, you know, it is crucial to be able to have access, at least to be able to save those things that could be playable for people. War Chest is finally back home after a wonderful trip. I say out of the country, kind of, sort of, but we'll leave it at that. Yeah, so let's get into it, man. I've waited long enough. Stranger Things season 5 fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. I'm just saying it. It is. There are scenes, and we talked about it a little bit, man. There are scenes that, for no reason, just break up the action. And I've said it in the past, to talk about gay. There are major scenes in the penultimate episode, what should be a climax, to talk about gay. Multiple episodes from this season take their time to make sure you understand that a couple characters who one of which dominates the screen time this season are gay.
And they took extra time to break up the straight couple in a really awkward, really badly written scene as well.
100%. It is some of the. They've had to have been making this up.
I mean, who writes an unproposal scene? Right when they're getting ready to freaking die, they think they're going to die. They unpropose to each other. How dumb is that?
It is. It really. So the placement of some of this stuff really throws off the pacing.
Yes.
Of what's happening, because you may have an exciting scene happening, and then all of a sudden it is ground to a halt by, for instance, what you were talking about, which is Nancy and Jonathan decide that as the world is melting down around them,
they're getting ready to die, be covered in this sludge stuff.
Let's take a 4 to 5 minute scene and talk about how we still love each other, but we're not going to get married to each other in this moment of just like,
and
you're
you know
about
why?
to die. And it's
the whole purpose of that scene, the entire purpose of that like 10-minute scene where they're going back and forth and they're playing all the music is so that she can throw the ring and it hits the floor and the floor is solid, so they realize that they're okay. Right. That's the entire point. The entire point of that scene is to magically tell the audience that, okay, it's no longer liquid. They're no longer sinking. They're okay. They can move on. It would have been even better if, Jonathan's foot was trapped underneath the sludge when it solidified and he's got half a foot in concrete. Right. Or, I mean, there's a million ways that you could have added drama. You could have added storytelling elements to this. But no, it's all wasted with this bogus, poorly written storytelling nonsense.
They also do. There's one scene where Linda Hamilton's character, who's really not really explained to us, but she's in charge in the military for some reason. We really have no background for this. We've not been told anything about it at all. We don't have any understanding of who she is, where she came from.
Unless you watch the play.
She is like 75 years old, or 70 years old. And there is a scene where an officer under her command, probably a 30-year-old man, is walking beside her. And she grabs him and slams him up against a fucking van. Mm-hmm. And holds him against the van. And he's all scared. He's petrified of this old woman. And then she literally takes her hands on his mouth and pushes it around like this and talks about how she's going to rip his tongue out. And this guy is terrified of this old lady who would break her fucking hips if he pushed her over. It is embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing to watch that scene. It is ridiculous.
Here's another thing that, maybe some people don't know. It is a violation of military code of conduct to touch another soldier in any fashion such as that.
That is to stick your finger in their mouth?
That is aggressive, overly sexual. That's freaking assault, according to the military code of standards. It doesn't matter who you are. If you can prove that such a thing happened, that's a court-martial offense right there. You could be drummed right out of the service. You could lose your commission. You could be demoted. There's all kinds of consequences for bullshit like that happening. And I don't care how secret of an organization you think you are, or how high up in the military you think you are. Even then, those things, they did happen, but they were still illegal for them to happen. So this is not something that people would do. And
even if let's just take a step back. Let's just say, okay, it's a show. It's got some goofy elements to it. The tonal whiplash of this show, where you go from jokey, funny to then all of a sudden, someone is having a serious conversation about their sexuality, to then like someone's life is in danger, to then jokey, funny. And oh my God, folks, let me just tell you, okay, if you have watched the first part of this season 5, you know that the Mama Wheeler is able to fend off a Demogorgon with a fucking kitchen knife. Her husband gets thrown across the fucking room, and guess what?
We never see him again.
Nor do you even hear about him
Nobody
ever
speaks
again.
about him ever again. He does not exist.
They constantly ask about Mama Wheeler, and they ask
Justice
if she's
for
okay.
Papa Wheeler. Justice for Papa Wheeler. Just like justice for Barb, justice
seriously,
for Papa Wheeler.
They do. No one to this point before this final episode, I've watched it all, not a single person. And guess what, folks? Mama Wheeler, she wakes up in the hospital, and you know what happens? Oh, she's got another girl boss moment. Oh, yeah. She's got two girl boss moments.
Somehow, while this creature is hunting these kids, she finds them in the basement, sneaks in while the creature is hunting the kids without being heard, throws an oxygen container in a fucking dryer, turns it on, and then the creature hears the noise and goes over to investigate and gets blown the fuck up. Okay?
All three of them.
There's three of them. She's a fucking ninja. Okay, she can't even hardly stand because she's been incapacitated for a week and a half, and now all of a sudden she's able to sneak up like a ninja, throw this thing in the dryer and turn it on. Did she get there before the creatures got there? She knew that the creatures were coming there, or did she sneak in while the creatures were already there? None of it makes sense,
dude. It is so okay. All right, real quick, I want to answer a couple of these chats because. Giraffe, okay, so she's married to Ted.
Yeah, they totally stole it from Joss.
This is Nancy and Mike's and Holly's mom, and in the season 3, she almost cheats on her husband Ted.
Yep.
Okay, with Billy, but yeah, so she was married, okay, but the thing is also, look, Nancy Wheeler popping out, okay, all 92 pounds of her with an M16 or whatever
92?
the fuck
I think she's
got.
like 60 pounds.
You're probably
she's
right.
Tiny.
And
Ozempic is a bad drug, folks.
She is acing killing these military guys. She literally pops out the top of a truck, and she is an expert shot. Now,
you know what it reminded me of? Spaceballs. When Princess Vespa grabs the gun and goes pop, 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 pop. Pretty good. That's pretty good for Rambo.
It is so goofy. And the thing is, like, look, I'll accept within this show, right? I'll accept a level of disbelief. I'll accept a level of goofiness that because they're, early on in the show, especially season 1. Yeah, right. There is, you accept some of that stuff because you really don't know what's happening, right? It's a very stranger things, right? So, but where we are right now at this point, we have to understand, like, Robin is getting a lot of screen time for this season, and the reason she gets a lot of screen time is because you get to see her solidify her relationship with her girlfriend. She also gets to consult Will on his being gay and coming out. Yeah, I know, right? We start doing ninja talk. So Robin gets a ton of screen time. Will, who is a terrible actor at this point as an adult, he gets a lot of screen time because he is tied to Vecna. He has powers now because he unleashed them through the power of gay. And therefore, he is a focal point because, as we saw at the very final ending, basically, of the penultimate episode, he sits everyone down, and this is what it sounds like. See if you guys can hear this.
I haven't told any of you this. Because I don't want you to see me differently. But the truth is, I am.
Okay, I want to break it up a little bit because it is James Seaborn. Good to see you, buddy. It is brutal to watch, and it's terribly acted. This is
terribly written,
fucking awful.
Terribly acted, and they spent 12 hours to do this, and this is the best they could do with it. But everybody was so happy with it. They're going to make a whole documentary on this one scene. And it's freaking terrible.
And it does. It kills the momentum
kills
of the
the
story.
momentum.
Of another character, Holly Wheeler, who also gets way too much screen time because this is a character okay, there are too many fucking characters now.
Yeah.
There are way too many characters now, and Holly Wheeler is one of them.
You got to pick the ones that you can focus on. And for the storytelling purposes, the Holly character is important to this because she's our insight into Vecna's plan, his world, right? But, I mean, not only is this forced cringe, such a waste of time, it destroys the momentum because we were getting to the climax, right? I mean, you don't just pull out and say, hey, I got to go grab a beer, honey, in the middle of making it to climax. You don't do that. You don't take that time out.
If you do, you're a fucking asshole.
I mean, seriously. I mean, you're wasting everybody's time at this point, right? I mean, there's nothing left. I mean, now you got to rebuild everything back up. You took all this time in the middle of the apocalypse when everybody's life is on the line, when everybody's getting ready to die. You can spend 20 minutes to come around in here and say, hey, I don't like girls.
Here, well, let's take
and everybody's
another...
like, no shit, dude. We've been joking about this since the first season.
Let's just take a little bit more of a listen to this scene.
Different.
Okay, do we have to?
I just pretended like I wasn't because I didn't want to be. I wanted to be like everyone else. I wanted to be like my friends.
See, I'm human too.
And I am like you.
I'm human.
I'm like you in almost every way.
I eat ice cream.
I
love people. I love cartoons and comic books and going to the movies with my friends and going to grab a hamburger and driving cars and riding bicycles. Especially with those really pointed seats.
This would have without a seat. What are you talking about?
Yes.
So what would have made this even better is if everybody at the end literally all almost at the same time said, yeah, we already knew, and then they got up and said, come on, man, we got to go stop fucking Vecna.
That would have been perfect. That would have been amazing.
And
if they had done that, it would have been the ultimate troll, and I love it because they're like, yeah, dude, we know.
He even says, look, he even says in here that, let's see if it'll come up.
I don't like girls.
Oh, God.
He's a misogynist.
What?
Got it.
Now, he even goes out of his way. And look at, did you see Winona Ryder there? Like, what is this look on her face?
I don't know. Nobody knows what the hell's going on here. Yeah.
Look at watch this fucking still. She's like,
what the hell are you saying, boy? I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. I don't like that.
You're going back to Christian summer camp.
We're going to Bible thump you until you forget about that.
But the other thing, too, is listen to this, too, okay? He had a crush on someone.
Someone, even though I know they're not like me.
I know it's
he's
me.
just
It's
my
me.
Tammy.
Oh shit! I
And
know it's
by
me.
Tammy, I mean it was never about him. It was about
I'm
me.
gonna throw up in my mouth a little bit.
And I thought I was finally okay with myself.
I mean, this is like, this scene goes on for like a hot minute. And then at the end, it's like he hugs everybody and he's like, you know, we're so glad that you've come to NA. You know, like, we're so glad you came to AA, brother. Come in here and give us all a hug. Yeah, it's unbelievably ridiculous. It absolutely kills the momentum. Now, one thing I did want to say to you, Matthew, is you're talking about, well, Holly, she's kind of our inside. Look, I would have preferred they took a character that we know. that we have known for a while and put them on the inside. This final season needed to focus on the main characters who have been in this show and ditch Robin, okay? Ditch Holly. I get it, bringing the kids in, but I'm going to tell you something, man. The classic horror trope of having some kind of something like on someone's mouth or their stomach and it's like pumping in alien eggs or something,
Right.
that's a classic sci-fi trope. But whenever we've normally seen it, it's happened with adults, right? Yeah. Now that I see this and it's children that have this tube hooked up to their mouth and it's feeding shit in, I can't help but not think, right? Yep. I can't help but think of what it is and what they were trying to convey in this season by putting this front and center. And the last thing I'll say to it is that even the gay community does not like this scene. They don't like the way this was handled. And this will always be remembered. This is the lowest rated episode of the entire show per whatever ratings metric on whatever site you want to use.
The first part 1 of season 5 started with this.
Yes.
And so if you take contextual cues, and we know who Will has been since season 1 because they joked about it in season 1, so everybody knew that he was going to be gay. Everyone knew in season 1 that he was gay. Okay. Everybody's got that friend who they grew up with and you knew before they did that they were gay, right? He's like, so when they come out, it's like, we know, right? And then you start this episode with this thing shoved down his throat, going go, 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 like this, down his throat as a child. And that's how we see him at the beginning of this part 1 and what Vecna had done to him. And you go back to all of the ways that samurai raised their boys and all these other things that are in all these historical texts about how children are treated in wartime situations and things like this. And this is what it is. And it leads to what happens later. And then you take this person in real life and how he realized when he was gay is because of this whole TV process, this whole character that he's been playing.
The press was asking this actor when he was 12 years old if he was gay.
Yep.
I mean, that's not a lie. The press in Hollywood, when he was a 12-year-old kid doing interviews for Stranger Things, they were asking him if he was gay in real life. I mean, let's not kid ourselves because that is the depravity that they have out there. And I will agree with you, Ronnie Trickshot. Good to see you. Stu for lunch. Good to see you too, buddy. The hat, it's ridiculous, but it's also meant to be ridiculous, which I guess like this scene maybe also is meant to be ridiculous. I don't know. Look, I don't think any of us, and I don't think anybody I know, unless I don't know it, has an issue with anybody that's gay.
I don't care.
Trans, straight, whatever. I don't give a shit. But this scene is so disingenuous. It is so forced cringe. And it completely just, it's like running into a brick wall in a car going 50 miles an hour. That's what it does to the episode. It just crushes it.
It stops all the momentum. It stops all the storytelling. It stops everything that's been built up. And this is supposed to be the penultimate episode, right? This is the one that leads into the finale, the final episode.
Yes.
The major conflict resolution has to happen here. So this episode should have been something action-packed, exciting, and everything else. And you can unwrap a whole bunch of drama in this last 2 hours, because you got 2 hours to do it. So you've got all kinds of storytelling crescendo and falling off there. And it comes back to these untalented hacks in Hollywood who don't know the hero's journey, who don't know how to tell a story, who don't know how to build momentum and build suspense and build good character development, because they're just throwing shit at a wall and see what sticks.
It's they I don't think had a plan. I think it's evident. They've been making this shit up from season to season.
Yeah.
And
There's never a plan. Yeah.
And also too, we get the return of 8, right? The sister character, right?
A character
8.
from the worst episode ever in the entire series, and they bring her back.
And I think she's going to be the only character that dies.
You think she's going to be the only character?
As far as the good guys, as far as like not Vecna.
She's not a good guy.
Well, what I mean is, I think she's the only main character, so to speak, that's going to die. They're not going to kill Mike.
Really?
I firmly believe that. I don't think they're going to kill anybody. I really don't.
I can see them killing Nancy.
I don't think so. I really don't, man.
Well, so now that she broke up with John, maybe not, because if they were still together, they could kill her, right? Because then you kill off the straight relationship.
Well, that's true. I mean,
but what about Hopper? I mean,
I don't think so. They faked this out with Hopper so many times that if they did kill him, I think it would be just stupid. I think it would be absolutely dumb. Because remember, he was planning on dying in the
Papa
first
Wheeler's
couple episodes of this
so
season.
We can count him out, right?
Well, I mean, we don't know because they don't fucking give a shit about him. They won't even tell you if the guy's okay.
No,
like it's just ridiculous.
Nobody gives a shit about Papa Wheeler. I would be very disappointed if they don't kill anyone.
I really don't. I think you're gonna get the happy ending, and I know that it keeps getting referenced by 11 and Mike, and we're gonna get our happy ending and all that stuff.
Okay, so do you think?
I don't see it, man.
Do you think that Elle will die?
I think they're gonna fake you out.
End the bloodline.
No, I get what, because folks, part of this is that number 8 or whatever her name is, I can't remember. I don't even care. She basically comes to her before the gay scene, I think, and she comes to her like in their little dream state or whatever you want to call it, and she tells her, "Hey, we both have to die when we face Vecna or whatever. We also have to die to end this cycle, because what we found is the military have been using the blood of 11 and 8 and even Henry,
Henry's
and they've been impregnating women to create superpowered children. Yeah. That's what the military's role in all of this is, I guess.
So my question is,
she wants to end all of that.
Did they genetically manipulate these 12 children? Are these 12 children products of military genetic experiments? Do they all have Vecna's blood, Henry's blood in them? Are they not really parented by the people who are their parents?
Right. I mean, the problem is, Matthew, is they don't explain shit to us, and they've got 2.5 hours or less to try to explain whatever it is they're going to explain, and I just don't think it's going to happen.
What's even worse to me is they're trying to make it scientific. They're trying to make everything science-based instead of demonology or magic or something like that, which is what they should have kept to. They should have kept to the demon, magic,
keep it
whatever.
Freaky.
Keep it freaky.
Yep.
Keep it supernatural. That's what it's supposed to be, or a combination of the two. And they haven't really thrown in the demon mystical elements of it. It's all science now because it's the Heisen-Rosenberg bridge, right?
They do. It's
a wormhole.
They bring science into it. They bring a wormhole, and look, for anybody that's like, darn it, I didn't want to get spoiled, man, I can't wait for you to come back to me after you watch that shit and tell me that it didn't matter. And all of a sudden they've crammed stuff in the last couple episodes that just were never there. Nothing was ever explained. Yeah. And it really is. And War Chest, the way they did that scene was deliberate. It was uncomfortable. And I will tell you this, the girl who plays how did I forget her name? The gay girl. Robin. Okay. So she did an interview on the red carpet, and she was asked about this scene, and she said that the reason they put it in the climax of the penultimate episode at the end is because if you had a homophobic uncle, he could just skip through the scene if it was anywhere else in the show, but that your homophobic uncle would be forced to watch the climax of the second to last episode before the end, and he'd have to sit through that scene and watch Will come out to his friends. That's what the interview she gave on the red carpet. And so it was purposeful that it was put there at the very end. And that's what they wanted. And I'll tell you, folks, if you got somebody like that, you ain't going to change their mind with a terribly written, terribly acted coming out scene in a supernatural show.
Yeah.
They ain't changing their mind. Okay? Sorry. It ain't happening. But yeah, it's brutal. And I do agree with you, Eric. D&D has also been hijacked as well.
Absolutely. It's been hijacked since the hip hop song, or the song Roll a D6, based off of the
wow.
G6 song.
Yeah, like
by,
a G6.
Like a G6. And then there's a D&D themed one called Roll a D6 came out.
Okay.
And that's when geek universe changed forever, because Twilight was at Comic-Con and the whole universe imploded upon itself at that point. And we've been living in the worst timeline since.
I can't argue with that. I hate this fucking timeline. I really do. So look, quickly, I'll touch upon this. Fallout Season 2, Episode 2. Look, I like the show, but I got to tell you, man, from a writing standpoint, there's some dumb shit. There is a decision that's made by Lucy that makes no sense in this episode. She goes on. I mean, you'd think this woman has learned something by traveling with this ghoul across the wasteland and like becoming his friend, and she ends up basically like treating this dude like shit, and then goes off and trusts a complete fucking stranger when he literally has told her, like, yeah, you can't trust this person, and you know she's part of the Legion, and it's it's just terribly written and completely out of character. I think at this point they're trying to make it out like this girl's still stupid, but there are some other interesting scenes in episode 2. I mean, I'm gonna stick with the show, but it, again, as I've said, it is because, you know, my fandom, you know, I admit it. It is out there. It is, I will tell people, my fandom, it is one of those rare instances where I will let that outweigh me just saying, you know what, I'm not going to watch this. But even I can recognize that there is some goofy shit and there's some bad writing in the show. There are some mistakes. And there's some major lore
Under Armour mistakes.
Like. Yes.
They had their Starbucks coffee moment from Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Now, okay, so there are 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. There's 4 seasons that are phenomenal, 2 seasons that are okay, and 2 seasons that are other shit. Now, Stranger Things, you've got 1 season that's good and 4 seasons that are meh to terrible.
And the 4th, I think last season wasn't like as good as the first season, but I think it was the next best. And I don't think it was bad, but I think it was the next best.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. So you have
two
one
out
great
of 5, maybe.
one great season, 1 good season,
right?
2 mess seasons, and 1 shit season to end the whole thing, versus Game of Thrones, 4 amazing seasons, 2 okay seasons, and 2 utter shit seasons. It doesn't compare.
Yeah, and look, they've greenlit this show for another season at least. So 3 seasons. I mean, I'm obviously, I will see it through. I think there's a lot about the games that I really enjoy. So I do like the Easter eggs. I do like some of the member berries. But yes, like I can see that there's some problems on the horizon, I think, and I'm not looking forward to that. So I still recommend it, as far as, at least with Fallout, I still recommend it. If you really love the games, I recommend it. Most of the normie folks I've talked to, they like it, but I think that's the same for what a lot of shows that I think a lot of people like. That, you know, I mean, look, not everybody has to have a critical eye. I really appreciate, you know, people that are able to watch something and you know, enjoy it. You you know, and just kind of be blissfully ignorant in a way.
Right.
And again, we all like what we like, but yeah, this show, it does have some issues, but I'll see it through, man. If anything major happens, I'll talk about it, but I still recommend it for now. If you have Prime, and I'm sure you do, as a benefit of ordering shit online, then check it out. See what you think. You know, season 1, 2, I think is, you know, it's okay. It's up and down.
Yeah.
Chicken fucker's funny though.
Hey, you know what? And if you haven't done it yet, catch up on Landman, Tulsa King, Kings of oh shoot, whatever. There's a bunch of Taylor Sheridan stuff on Paramount that's awesome. You know, we've enjoyed the Percy Jackson stuff that's been in this latest season so far. So check out Percy Jackson. You know, go see a movie at the movie theaters. Check something out. Come back, tell us what you think of it. If there's anything good out there. Avatar is not it for me. I'm going to go see David. I wanted to see Nuremberg. I've heard good things about Nuremberg, but I haven't been able to see that one yet. Check some stuff out. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you want us to look at, and we'll take a look at it.
Absolutely. I 100%. Absolutely. I am all about, if somebody recommends something, I have no problem checking it out. I would absolutely check anything out. And I'll also let you know my opinion, right? Like, I'm not afraid to do that. So let's see here. I want to.
What are you watching? Why is Jane Fonda's name coming up? What the hell?
Oh, don't you worry, folks, because I'm about to give you a little present. To give y'all a little present before we get into a little best and worst. Here's a little video of one Sydney Sweeney at the Variety Power of Women conference. And, you know, we all watch what we watch, right? So just watch closely.
Is going to be here tonight. What is the question you're going to ask her about Barbarella?
Oh, man, I'm going to sit down. If you see us in a corner the entire time, just know I'm asking absolutely everything.
Last thing, you're working with Sharon Stone, though. I mean, that's kind of insane and iconic, and she is presenting you in Ward tonight. What is it like to have her as a friend?
I still can't believe it. I keep thinking, is this real? Is this happening? She is such a badass. We'd sit on set and she would tell me stories, and she was so.
I don't know what she's saying. I honestly couldn't tell you what she's saying at all.
What, you know what I heard there? Did I hear that right? Is Sydney Sweeney working on a Barbarella movie?
She is. I believe she is. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
think of what they could do with that weightless scene with her.
Oh, you kidding me?
At the beginning of the movie,
seriously,
when she's floating through the spaceship naked in weightlessness, what
100%.
they did in the 70s with Barbarella. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. If she comes back to do Barbarella, we all have to go see that. We have to do that.
You and I are on the same page. And again, here's some of my New Year's treats for y'all. You know, I just had a few of these. A few of these saved. That's all. Just a few of these saved.
Is that the girl from Landman? Who is that?
No, that's her. That's her.
Oh,
really? A few years ago. Yeah.
Oh,
that is her. And I'll give you one more. Okay, just one more, and then we're gonna hit up some of these. You know. The beautiful, lovely, and talented one, Sydney Sweeney. Yeah, I mean, you know, come on. Let's not kid ourselves.
You know what's popping up in my Facebook feeds and other feeds?
What's that?
These people saying to the world how they're better looking than Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, yeah. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
And they're the most unappealing people that I have ever come across.
I mean, I don't know. Are they better look? I mean,
they're definitely not.
I don't know. Whoop. I can't help myself.
I mean, even if you think like internally, these people are maybe better than Sydney Sweeney. I don't think so, because the way they present themselves, it's not in a positive light, because they're already being horrible people.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I mean, you know, the bottom line is, folks, is that we all have to appreciate everything, large and small. We have to appreciate everything large and small in this world. So, you know, that's yep, there's your daily dose of Sydney. Where's Ronnie Trickshot, by the way?
Oh, he bailed.
He noped out. Yeah, yeah. It was the final scene of maybe the Stranger Things that got him. He's like, I can't watch any more of this garbage. You know, I get it. Trust me, I do.
Or this garbage, right? Because we were talking about it.
Oh yeah, well, whatever. So we'll look at a little bit of the year in. I do not have them on my phone. Damn you. So we'll look at a few. I'll bring up a few articles, and we'll just kind of kick through them quickly at the year of 2025, such as kind of some of the top moments. For instance, this is Yahoo, and they talk about the Sydney Sweeney American Eagle campaign promoting eugenics, which sounds as ridiculous as it sounds coming out of my mouth. Actually.
Because she wasn't doing that. Nobody was doing that. Nobody was even thinking that, except for you people that want to put a different context and spin and be offended by everything. No one ever thought that.
Yeah, no one, I think, in their right mind really believes that. We found out Bad Bunny is going to be in just a little over a month and so. Will be the performer at the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny, folks. Look him up, look into him, and see whether or not you're cool with that or not, or whether you care. You probably don't care, you know.
Most people don't care because most people don't watch the halftime show.
They don't. Now, I do remember when this Sabrina Carpenter is called an anti-feminist over this album cover that she made, which, you know, hey, I remember a lot of covers like this in the 70s and the 80s in particular.
I go look at some Fleetwood Mac covers. I'm just saying.
I mean, there's all kinds. If you really want to look at some great covers, go look up some Ohio Players covers. Yeah. Go look up some of the Black Funk Band covers.
Yeah.
See if you really want to see some great shit. K-pop Demon Hunters takes over the world. Ooh. And it did. It took over. And I got to tell you, I enjoyed the movie. The songs were fine too. Like, you know, I mean, for some people that are really into pop music, I think they are over the moon over it. It's not my kind of music, but I thought the songs were well crafted, and I did like the movie. I thought it was pretty damn good.
So my office coordinator where I work, she's about the same age I am, about the same age we are, right? Her sister and some other people forced her to go to a K-pop concert. And she had no idea. She's like, K-pop? She had to do research. She had no idea what even K-pop was.
Okay.
And they all had a good time and everything, but she's like not into it or whatever. But this whole K-pop Demon Hunters thing has just blown up. And it is the young people's zeitgeist at the moment. And so they are loving this. And every time that these people pop up, these K-pop artists from this movie pop up somewhere, they're all about it. My daughter, who's 9, is all about it. She wants to see everything coming from the K-pop stuff.
Yeah.
So it has hit the zeitgeist. It is the thing right now for a lot of people.
No, it definitely is. And yeah, I enjoyed it. And, you know, 50-year-old man, but I thought it was pretty well done. And it's a fun story. It's a good story. Clint Jorgensen is here. Isn't those Stranger Things episodes promoting eugenics? They're promoting something, buddy. I can tell you that for sure. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce announced their engagement. We all remember where we were at when that happened, don't we? Like the Challenger or JFK for some, Martin Luther King for others, maybe
9/11.
9/11. You know, World Trade Center bombing or, you know, whatever. We all remember where we were when Travis Kelce got engaged to Taylor Swift. I don't know anything about the summer I turned pretty. I'm not going to lie. That is new to me. But we also saw Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban after almost 20 years hang it up. What a shame. Truly, what a shame.
Who was her husband before that?
Oh, I think he's a guy by the name of Cruise.
Cruise. I thought it. Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Who divorces most of his wives at 30. He divorces most of his wives when they hit 34 years old.
Yeah, he
I think
got it right.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, he got it right.
Divorce all the women when they're 34. Get into wife.
Exactly. Yeah, then Stranger Things, obviously, after that many seasons. Now, we'll quickly move along to Hollywood Reporter. Biggest winners and losers of 2025. Let's just see what they have to say here. So, biggest winner, K-pop Demon Hunters, as we just looked at. Biggest loser, Paramount. Every Paramount released, every movie they released this year lost money except for one, Regretting You. And as of this writing, they're losing its unbeatable, it says Trump-protected bid to acquire Warner Brothers. You gotta love the wording.
If Trump protected their bid, he would have denied Netflix the opportunity to create the monopoly that they're going to gain from purchasing Warner Brothers. As the two of the largest streaming services merge, or production companies in all of Hollywood merge together to be one. Right. Trump would have stopped that if he was biased at all. Because he would want them to go to Paramount. But he stayed out of it because the court system has to do their job, because he knows not to overstep his bounds like a fascist president. He's allowing the court system to go through the motions and make its decisions.
And they'll decide. I mean, they will absolutely decide. That's what.
And it's going to be a problem for them over the next 9 months, because people are going to have a lot of pushback on the streaming service aspect of what's going to be happening if those two companies merge.
They also, on top of not really any hits this year movie wise, Taylor Sheridan is also leaving.
Left.
Gone. So they did bring in the Duffer Brothers, but considering this last few seasons of Stranger Things, I don't even know that I trust them to do anything.
Look, go back and look at what the Duffer Brothers have done. They created one good season of television. One good season of television. They created a cultural phenomena. Will they be able to replicate that with anything else? I don't think so. I don't think they're talented enough to create something else that's going to create the buy-in like this. I think Stranger Things is the last cultural phenomenon for scripted television that we will see in a very, very long time.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could be right. I mean, sometimes there's always something that maybe comes out of left field that takes everybody by surprise. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. But
until then, everything has been so fractured. It's going to be niche. Everything is so niche. You can't spend a lot of money on this stuff. You have to see what happens and how it grows and how it becomes something special. Because you think about what we consider today some of the best movies that have been out there, and we didn't think they were great when they came out. It was after VHS release. It was after subsequent viewings.
We don't have that kind of steam anymore, man.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't get that kind of steam. I mean, when you look at and for Graf, he says on the right here under must read, is that Avatar? Yes, that is a scene. No, that's actually a scene out of Stranger Things, the college years. But anyway, I'm with you, and it's a shame, but that was you guys remember when VHS releases of movies were such a big deal? You remember when like Batman '89, when it was coming out, and how the promotion, and it was such a big event for a VHS of a big movie from the summer to come out right at Christmas time. Yeah. And we don't get that. We don't get that anymore. You know what I mean?
G.I. Jet, man. Taylor Sheridan is not the reason why they killed off Kevin Costner in the show, Kevin Costner had a beef with one of the executives at Paramount, is why they killed him off, because Kevin Costner got too big for his britches and didn't realize he's not the main crux of that show. He was a part of the show and he was very successful in the show, but he couldn't run the show the way he wanted to, because Taylor Sheridan had the right idea about a lot of things, but it did ruin the last season of Yellowstone.
Yeah, whatever went down there, really, unfortunately for fans of that show, that's a big blow, right? And you take that character out of it, and all of a sudden now you've got to figure out how to write them out. And I know
Kevin Costner's famous for his ego. He's ruined a lot of stuff, and he demands to make the 3-hour epic movies that bomb at the box office like Waterworld.
He's made some great stuff. He's made some great stuff, but he also has taken some big swings and had some big misses. That's for sure. Let's see here. Just kind of scrolling down. Let's see if there was anything else really interesting with the Hollywood Reporter. Not really. I mean, Ryan Coogler, but I think Ryan Coogler, I think that shine on that star is going to lose some luster over a little bit of time.
I agree, because the flaws were seen in Sinners. While Sinners was good, I think it showed the flaws in his storytelling, and I don't think that his progression. Not Sinners, but anyway, his storytelling we've seen the flaws in it. And more that he produces, the less and less people are engaging with it.
Right. I think, look, I mean, the only thing we can do is get a little more product from these people and try to see if they can continue on. The only person I know that it seems to me has continued to perform as a showrunner is Vince Gilligan. And I just think that guy's so talented, that it seems like anything that he does is a hit. And so we'll see.
Lost Star Trek. We didn't lose Star Trek in 2025. We lost Star Trek in 2005.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute as far as Star Trek, but I think they're talking about just. And I didn't look at it, but I definitely say that new Trek is not what Trek fans want. I don't think anybody has asked for any of that stuff. And
while there are a couple elements that are entertaining,
losing a generation.
They lost an entire generation. They absolutely did, because they didn't engage with what Star Trek is to keep the old fans. See, this is the problem with modern Hollywood, is they don't care about the old fans. They want new fans that don't actually exist, right? They're chasing a false audience. If they catered to the old fans but created something new, and then you can move it forward, okay, then the old fans are like, hey, this is really good, and they're going to continue to talk about it. But also new people will be like, hey, I tuned into this thing, and it's really good. Because it's good storytelling. Good storytelling is good storytelling. You have to go back to the 7 basic stories. 7. Yes, there are only 7 basic stories. Okay? You go through those 7 basic stories, and that's what you got. You have the hero's journey. You have these stories that are basic to human nature. And then you find different and innovative ways to tell them based on modern context. Okay? But you still use the same storytelling methods. That's how you create a franchise that grows and continues to grow. But apparently, we cannot keep a franchise or a storytelling methodology alive for more than 50 years. It's about 40 years, and after 40 years, it's destroyed. We look at Doctor Who.
I'd say that's pretty good. I'd say that's pretty good.
I think it's pretty good, but guess what? It's still 1.1 generation, right?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is the younger generation doesn't want hand-me-downs.
Yeah, that's the other problem.
They need their own shit.
Right. You're absolutely right. They need their own things, and that's fine. But if you want to call a franchise, then you have to cater to the people that came before, first and foremost, before you start bringing in a new audience.
I mean,
right?
I think there's a way to do both. I just don't think that they've definitely been able to navigate that. I mean, it's far and few between. I think there's certain properties, maybe like a Batman, for instance, you might have been able to do that with, going all the way back to the '60s with the campy show, and then
60s.
into the '80s.
How about
And
the 1920s and 30s?
well, but I'm talking about we're talking about film. I mean, I don't think anybody was banging out going to see Batman in 1941 at the movie theater. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just talking about or TV. You know, the comics, fine. I'm just talking about, there are certain things that have been able to
So
work their way through different generations, whether they've refined it or changed it a little bit. Like I said, as far as the Batman IP or whatever, coming from the 60s TV show into the
yeah.
late 80s, right? And
So
then
here's
beyond that to where we're at today.
the difference. The difference is Star Trek and things like that became commodities instead of mythology. Batman was a mythology from the beginning. Superman is a mythology from the beginning. Spider-Man is a mythology from the beginning. And when you have mythology, mythology will last longer, right? Even if you tell bad stories with it, it can recover. Can Star Trek recover? I don't know. I don't think that it has hit the mythological status yet. Not like Batman, not like Superman, not like
No.
Spider-Man.
No. No, I don't think so.
Those three comic book characters are the crux for all of modern mythology, if you think about it.
And eventually,
mythology can last for centuries.
Yeah, I mean, it's but I think a lot of your newer IP definitely have been mined, and mined to the point where they've been not respected. I mean, we could say Star Wars, Star Trek, those two things. I mean, obviously Star Wars being bigger than Star Trek and obviously bigger than Doctor Who. And I think Doctor Who being such a British thing maybe doesn't resonate to people over here in the States as much.
Hey, hold on
Not
a
that
second.
it doesn't have its fans, but
okay. But let me give you a little bit of context. Doctor Who created the term fandom. Okay. The entire concept of fandom that we know today was created by Doctor Who. And Doctor Who became culturally relevant in the United States in 2005 through 2011-ish. You can expand that maybe a little bit further, but that 6-year period is when it hit the cultural zeitgeist and affected everybody across the globe for a period of time because David Tennant was amazing, right? And that brought Doctor Who to the forefront. But at the same time, Doctor Who is so culturally relevant from the beginning because the next fandom, what came after Doctor Who, was Star Trek, right? And so for 50 years, Star Trek and Doctor Who have ruled fandom. And now they're both dead. And now Star Wars
I'll give you that last part for sure. They are both dead, without a doubt. 2008 base, what's up? First time check in. Glad you are checking in, my friend. So let's take a look really quickly. I got a couple other lists just to kind of scroll down and get an idea. For instance, biggest viral moments 2025. We all remember the Coldplay Kiss Cam, right? That happened this year, right?
Epic.
That was, the Labubu craze, folks. Everybody got in on the Labubu craze. Who didn't?
I still have no fucking idea what a Labubu is.
Well, there it is right there on the screen for you, buddy. It looks like a Monchichi. It's just a new Monchichi. That's all it is, with rabbit ears.
It's not those ugly face things or whatever. Those ugly
Fuglies.
Okay, yeah, fuck if I know.
I don't know. I dated her one time. It's Labubus. They clip them all over their belt buckles and their backpacks and their nose rings and their bull rings, right? Their septum rings. Blue Origin
rings.
Yeah, that too. Blue Origin space mission. Which Katy Perry, Gail King, you guys remember. I don't even think it really happened. I could be wrong. But, that was very cringe, 100% cringe. Sydney Sweeney's jeans. There it is again. The Louvre robbery. Not
No
too long
kidding.
ago, folks.
Not
Back
too
in
long
October. And they
Nice.
were able to at least get a couple of those guys, right? 2 or 3, but they were not able to recover the lost loot. We're not able to find it yet. So there's a few from was that The Week newspaper or trade. Then we have let's see here. We'll share a little bit of this one right here. Late Night Under Attack. Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert. Just the horror of late night television somehow getting canceled or not. So
did you watch Jimmy Kimmel's UK broadcast?
Oh, actually, I did, and I actually saved it. I was going to actually look it up and watch it during one of my unfiltered streams.
Yeah.
Before I could not talk.
Yeah. So I just a couple seconds on this, right?
No, you're good.
Jimmy Kimmel is bitching about fascism in the United States, yet he was back on the air a week later.
100%.
His sponsors pulled his show, and so the company, not Trump, not anyone else, his producers pulled his show to shut him the fuck up for at least 1 week to get things to calm the fuck down to bring him back later. And they did this. The president didn't do it. Nobody did this except for his own freaking sponsors did this to him. And now he's got to go on UK television where the UK doesn't even know who the fuck he is to talk about all this nonsense, when in the UK, people are getting arrested, people are getting thrown in jail, people are getting millions of dollars in fines because they are looking like they're praying in a no praying zone, because they say something in Twitter that might offend someone somewhere at some time. Not because they actually offended someone, because they might offend someone. The UK police are cracking down on all internet content because of a ruling that took place in 2019 that destroyed anything associated with free speech in the UK and had government control over all internet interactions on anyone in the UK. Now that sounds like fascism to me.
Yeah, this kind of thing he goes on, to give you a little bit of an idea. It's
deliver what has been described as an alternative Christmas message.
Well, no, hold on. Let me give you context to this. Okay.
I didn't want the voiceover. Actually,
yeah.
I tried to share the actual video.
Right. This specific message is for the alternate to the standard message from the British government. Right. That's what this broadcast is for. Historically, they bring on some of the most satirical comedians who ever existed in all of London and all of England, okay, which are the most satirical people in the whole freaking world, right? It's hilarious. They bring them on to make a counter speech to the government speech, right? It is not an opposition speech. It is a satire speech, because it's somebody that everyone in the United Kingdom knows who they are and can understand the context from what they're talking about, and it's satire. Jimmy Kimmel comes on to preach about bullshit that none of them know a fucking thing about.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. He literally, what he's talking about in his little 2-minute, or his little address, they're not up on the current politics in America. Do they know who Trump is? Yes, they do. But like what he goes on about, they don't know the ins and outs of that. No. Nor do we know about the ins and outs in London, other than what we've kind of seen a little bit of. And I think it's if you get a chance to watch it, I really don't want to play it here, but if you get a chance to watch it, it's not a good look. And of course, what do you think he goes on and on about throughout the entire thing? Fascism, fascist president. It's the same old thing, and it's tiresome, and that's why people stop watching the late night shows. Now they can blame it all they want on Trump or whomever, but the reality of it is that if they went so hard in one direction that people tuned out.
Yeah.
And so when you tune out 50% of your audience and then you lose another 30% of it because they're tired of hearing the same thing over and over, then you have nobody to blame but yourself. And it's Eric has some thoughts on the UK and Australia, and look, there's many other places, Ireland as well, that are in some going through some major changes, and unfortunately, I think the thing of it is, people will look back many years from now and realize that culturally, the things they've had are now gone. Their culture that they've had for hundreds of years or 1,000+ years is gone. It's gone now. It's been absorbed and it is disappearing. And they watched it happen and chose to not do anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the truth. Graf says, I live in Western Washington, and even I am scared at the folks from B.C. I want Trump to build a wall up north. Holy cow. Well, it is crazy. I think the multiculturalism experiment has not worked in any country.
No. So it has when you use the word melting pot.
And maybe use the word, what's the word I'm looking for? Instead of inundating a country with people that aren't from there, maybe you should regulate the amount of people that you allow to come in, and that way you can integrate people.
If you bring an entire population of refugees to a country and they live on welfare, that is a detriment to society.
Yes.
If these people are subject to welfare, and that's the only way that they can come here and survive, then it is a detriment. And should we allow some of those people? Maybe. There's got to be a reason why they're fleeing where they are fleeing from. Are they willing to melt into our society and become what we are to a degree? You have to be willing to give to get anything. That's the way compromise works. That's the way a joining of society works.
Yeah,
you have to be willing to work together.
And that's what I mean. I think that, unfortunately, when you do a mass immigration, it's almost like people have no choice but then to put people on government assistance, because there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work to do in language, in jobs, in getting legal, which is the biggest problem of them all, is that many are illegal, and it just poses so many issues. And ultimately, the taxpayers are the ones that foot the bill for the welfare, the hospital bills, and every other thing associated with mass immigration. It's just true. I mean, whether you think it's not, right to want to deport people, whatever that means to you, this experiment, so to speak, has not worked. Like, it just has not worked. And it needs to slow down extremely, and not just here, in every country, because it truly is an issue, and people just kind of want to stick their heads in the sand.
Well, it's why the European Union fell apart, right?
Yeah. All right, look, let's. I tell you what, because that's a topic usually for my shows on Sundays. Look, we'll jump back in. We'll finish up with just a couple others, like some of these, the 25 Hollywood moments that mattered most in 2025. And I think that's a completely different story, G.I. Jet Man, to an extent. You understand what I'm saying? Right there. It not being able to physically work, as opposed to, coming in and taking advantage of a system. Those are totally different things.
Yeah.
Zaslav got the last laugh after all. Yeah, I mean, look, he could walk out of this thing with being a billionaire when this company gets purchased.
Yep.
You have DC finally ate Marvel's lunch. I wouldn't say that,
That
but I
didn't happen.
see what they're getting at the very least, with just at least DC releasing some stuff that maybe did better than Marvel, but
for the first time ever.
Right.
I shouldn't say the first time ever. The first time in the last 20 years, right?
And their output truly was not near as at least prolific from getting stuff out. I'd say Marvel definitely got out more product, and even though Superman, I guess from not like it made money, but
but if you look at what DC Warner Brothers put out, the percentage of quality to what they put out ratio is higher at Warner Brothers currently than at Marvel, because Marvel shotgunned a whole bunch of shit out there. They diarrheaed some stuff out there, and Warner Brothers took the time to say, is this good or is this not good? Do we want to put this out there or not? And they scrapped an entire film because it was not. They scrapped maybe more than they should have, because there's some stuff that actually would have been good. But at the same time, they had to make decisions. And they made some financial decisions that make them more soluble than Disney at this point.
I think the James Gunn experiment's going to be a disaster when it's all said and done.
Absolutely disaster.
Yeah, stew for lunch. That's interesting. That's an interesting thought, to say the least. That's you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Let's see here. Yeah, the guy poking the chick. I saw that in the cartoon at the top of this page. So what about Tilly Norwood? Almost got an agent. Do you guys know who Tilly Norwood is by chance? Anybody in the chat know who Tilly Norwood is? The up-and-coming superstar actress. Up-and-coming superstar actress. Do you know who Tilly Norwood is? Because she almost got an agent.
Almost.
In 2025. She's an AI creation.
That's right.
AI generated performer, built by a producer. It's very strange and nearly got signed to a talent agency. I think that in itself is really weird. Because if you are the creator, then why would you even need a talent agency? Why would you need to give them money? Why? Why would you need it?
If she's AI, then did someone actually create her? Or did AI create her?
Ooh, good
question.
Mean, Skynet.
Yeah, there you go.
It's Skynet.
Yep.
Do you guys know who this is? 2025's cutest party animal? I think we do.
Rocky Raccoon? That's
Three-star Draw showed the video of the famous raccoon that broke into a liquor store and drank himself to a stupor and passed out in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I
thought that was Rocky Raccoon.
Pretty cool. Yeah, right. The Ballad of Sweeney's Bod, yes, we all know, but how could we not? And how could we all not love Sweeney's Bod? Then you have Sinners, which they bring up here for Hollywood Reporter. Hollywood moved to London, as we saw a lot. I mean, that's been going on for a long time.
And we all know why, right? I mean, they moved production to London so they can get 75% tax breaks, right? Because but 2 years after the fact, they have to release their actual budgets.
That's the part I like.
Which has been illuminating, because it confirms everything that we've known. They spent way more than they actually admit that they spent on all of this stuff. Or they're lying through their fucking assholes to get the extra tax breaks from it. Either way, they're either committing fraud or admitting what they're actually doing.
Right.
Either way, they're fucking lying pieces of shit.
Yeah, it's a shell game, my friend. We know
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
A lot of people making a lot of money, putting out a
Trash
lot of
pandas.
bullshit. Stanley Everhard's back home.
What's
after
up?
Day triple sub Stanley. Fire and ice, LA's natural and unnatural disasters. Of course, we can't forget the fires in the Pacific Palisades, of which those folks will never, ever be allowed
And
to
you know
go
what?
back to their property and rebuild because
Yeah, I know.
California will take that land. They've been wanting it for a long time.
And we should never forget the fires that happened in Hawaii, where secret government or corporate elements started those fires to burn those people out of their properties so the corporations could take over their
Yes, sir.
land and build on top of it people's land that they stole. They literally stole it with fire.
Yeah, no, it is really true, and I know it sounds crazy, but if you really
That's
look
what
into
happened.
it,
That's what happened.
yeah, and
G.I.
they-
Jetman, Hasbro didn't move to Rhode Island. They've been in Rhode Island. They moved to Boston, which is a huge
is
problem.
that's right. They went to Boston. That's right. They did go to Boston. Yes,
They moved to Boston, where the taxes are higher, where the
that's
rent
crazy.
is higher, where they
right?
had to cut another 200 employees to move from Rhode Island to Boston. He said, hey, if you're not moving with us, you're fucking gone. And they got rid of a whole bunch of people so they could move there and then raise prices on everything so they could charge more because they need to cover the costs of the move.
Hey, no, Matthew. Now you know that's because of the tariffs. You know it's the tariffs' fault, Matthew.
No, not so much. Yeah, the move to Boston will be the most costly thing that ever happened to Hasbro. Hasbro will be bankrupt very shortly, and they will have to be forced to sell to Disney. Disney actually offered to buy them several years ago, and they said no. And then Disney said, yeah, well, after we thought about it for a second, we don't actually want to own the toy company. We just want to control the toy company. And so they backed off from buying Hasbro. Because they made more money on the licensing deal, which is the whole problem with streaming to begin with, is because before streaming, they made money off of licensing their properties to all these other companies that would put it on air. But now that they have their own streaming service, they can't license it anymore. So now they're fucked out all that money that they would have been getting. It's dumbasses at corporate making dumbass decisions.
I'm just more curious about, Hasbro and maybe why that you would move, considering all those factors. And look, I don't know all the ins and outs, and I don't know that that's been, revealed to us.
They say it's because it's more central and it's easier for people to get to, and it's a metropolitan area where people can come to.
Okay.
And so they're looking to go bankrupt. They're looking to sell the company to a larger investor, to a larger group. The Hassenfelds are gone. The Hassenfelds are gone. The only people left are, what's his name? Dipshit Chad or whatever his name is.
Super Chat?
Yeah, right, whatever. The head of the company right now is a fucking moron. And all he cares about is the bottom line and the shareholders. They moved to a public place so he can sell, make money, and get the fuck out. It's almost as good as that asshole you have right there.
Well, yeah, this guy now, kind of finishing up here. I want to look at a couple of the chats is like Epstein files. We got a lot of picks, right? A lot of picks coming out. And then let's see here. Oh yeah, hi Ken.
What's up, Ken? Hey Ken. Don't forget, hi, Ken.
Ken's doing great, man. You know he is. Ken's doing fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think maybe I passed it a long time ago. There was a couple things in there, but yeah, Disney suing AI, putting out cease and desist to Google to stop people from making AI videos from about 200 of their characters, and then turning around and signing
Chris Cox. I meant Chris Cox.
Oh yeah,
the fucking dick. Because the people who actually own Hasbro are Vanguard, BlackRock, Capital Research Global, those are the companies that actually own Hasbro right now, since the Hassenfeld family's fucking gone. So if you look into those companies, you'll find a dark, deep pit of despair.
Yeah, and I don't know, really how many of those people, do move. I'm wondering maybe some of them, they work remotely, obviously, and maybe stay behind. But I really don't know. I don't know what those numbers, I guess, look like.
Half.
I hadn't really looked into it.
I want to say half of those people are moving to Boston.
Let's see. Sorry, I screw up. I freaking yell at me. I made a mistake. Back off. I'm out. Bye. Whoa. Okay.
Whatever, dude.
That got heated quickly.
Dude, don't. If you listen to this, don't fret about stuff like that. That's just whatever. Okay, you made a mistake. We corrected it. We moved on. We were talking about it. Don't.
Yeah, all good. All good. And like here, 3-star says, the best last night. Ken wasn't in Punk's chat.
Yeah.
But Emperor Dumbass wasn't, and everyone kept up with the high Kens. That is beautiful. I do love it. Yeah, and I know he was. So he was there, and everybody kept. Oh, that's even better. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, I know the story of that now. It took me a long time to find out the story of the high Ken, and once I found out, I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. I mean, and he was there, which makes it even better.
Pop, remind me when we get done. I'll tell you something more about that. Yeah,
no doubt about it. Yeah, biggest bomb of 2025. The Alto Knights. I didn't even know this damn thing grossed $9 million on a $45 million budget. I didn't even know it existed. I had no idea.
So
and it's got Robert De Niro. The Alto Knights. I did not even know this movie existed at all.
I thought he was just making political statements. I didn't think he was actually doing any acting.
I'm with you, but no. I have no.
What is that? Butch Cassidy? What was that?
That was Robert Redford and Diane Keaton passing away.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Bezos renting Venice to was it to get married or whatever the hell. They had a big party, whatever the fuck it was. I don't care. It's like. Who gives
all these rich fuckers doing rich fucker things? Who cares?
I mean, whatever. Although I will say it would have been nice to win part of that $1.7 billion lottery.
Did you see how much that person paid in taxes?
I don't give a shit. I'd take one lump sum.
Okay, I get it, but it was $1.8 billion that they won, and they paid $1.4 billion in taxes.
Yeah,
they got
that's a problem.
$400 million.
Yeah,
fuck that shit.
Yeah, that's a problem. Like
that's a fucking scam, is what it is.
That is a scam, and now where was it won at? Because what state, doesn't that make a difference, I guess, too? It's not just the federal taxes on that, but if you win in a certain state, that takes more of that shit, too. Well, because it changes from state to state, right?
But here's the problem with Powerball and things like that. It is a multi-state transaction. So you have to pay taxes in multiple states.
So can you do this real quick? Can you explain the high Ken origin, because there's a few people that don't actually know the origin of it. Can you give us that in autistic detail, my friend?
I can. Do we really want to go into that?
Well, you could summarize it quickly.
Okay.
We don't have to give the long version. Just give it a college try.
On an evening with a friend on Punk's channel, when we are talking to the guest, a person came into chat, and Ken came into chat, and Ken said hi, and Punk said hi back to him. This person in chat didn't see Punk say hi to this person in chat. And so this other person went off on the fact that he didn't say hi to Ken. He needs to say hi to Ken. Why didn't he acknowledge Ken? Ken is here. Did you not see Ken? Did you not say hi to Ken? Okay. And Punk is like, yeah, we said hi to Ken. And then Ed and I said, he said hi to Ken, leave it alone. And then he blocked Ed and I. And then he left the chat and went over to Chad's chat and started bugging chat over at Chad's chat for a long time until he got pissed off at Chad. And then he came back to Punk. And then he sees everyone saying hi to Ken. And he's like, oh, that's really nice. Everybody's saying hi to Ken. And Ken's not even fucking there. Everybody's saying hi to Ken because they were there that night that he went off and got blocked temporarily, right? He was put on hold, so he couldn't make chats for 10 minutes or whatever because he wouldn't stop talking about Ken. And Ken is like, no, dude, it's okay. It's okay. He said hi to me. Everybody said hi to me. It's okay. But he didn't listen to any of that shit. And so now everybody who was there says, hi, Ken. Hi, Ken. So we don't get blocked. So we don't get banned. So we don't get whatever from this wonderful person who has recently returned to the chat.
He has returned and evidently was there last night.
Yeah.
And everybody was saying hi, Ken.
Hi, Ken.
It truly is. It's like when I found out about it, I was just like, what in the world? Yeah,
YouTube is a weird place.
Yeah, no, if your name is Cobra Emperor Graph, then I guess it was you, but I don't think it is.
It was not you, Graph. Cobra Emperor, G.I. Joe 7, Delta 17, 227438. I love all O-rings, and I only collect O-rings, but I watch people who do classified channels.
It is weird, and yes, it's like days of our YouTube lives, buddy. It truly is. Now, earlier, 3-star, and I apologize for not finding it. You had a question from Purple Elf, and I wish I'd have hit it up, but you had a question from Purple Elf. I don't know if you can actually remember it.
Okay.
But it was from earlier, and I wanted to bring it up, but I got to be honest with you, it's been a while, and it's a lot of chats to go through. So if you can remember it, throw it in there. If not, I just don't know if I can find it, man. But nonetheless, so look, my voice has held up. It's for almost 3 hours. It is about done. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm sure this has sounded fantastic for those of you listening, and I don't blame you for not wanting to watch. I have a face for radio, but if you do remember that question, 3-star, then great, and if not, no big deal. But look, I hope you guys have a great New Year's Eve. Everybody be safe. Definitely, if you go out, take an Uber. Don't drive.
Be safe. Be safe out there.
Yeah, that's the main thing, man. Just you guys be safe. Take an Uber or stay at home. Most of us stay at home these days. I know that's kind of the norm, but I hope you guys do have a great New Year's Eve and a great New Year's Day. Get you some black-eyed peas and some collard greens. Matthew, anything that you're doing for New Year's Eve or?
Nothing special. We're probably going to go see the movie David, but that's about it.
Cool.
I'm going to try and take some photos while I have one day off, and then I got to go back to work again. But I had a whole week off for Christmas, so I'm going to be playing with some toys and taking some pictures and figuring out what's going to happen next year.
Well, I do work tomorrow night. I also work New Year's Day evening as well. So the football games, I'll just have to catch them either at work or whatever. But I hope you guys enjoy watching some college football. And I am off this weekend. Going to try to rest my voice up, hopefully, and that way I can do a stream on Sunday night. But we'll see. As you can tell, it's still pretty rough, man. But let's see. Purple Elf just asked if he was going to throw last season's shoes at the Demogorgon.
No, he's just going to fire rainbows at his ass. And then
that's it. Yeah, shoot magical rainbows at because of Will Byers getting the tentacle thing in his mouth, right? And Vecna graping Will Byers. I had somebody at work ask me if the ending was going to be Will graping Vecna, and that's how they destroy him.
I mean, that's a fair comment, right? I mean,
he's going to put something in Vecna's mouth. Oh,
that's very possible.
Yes, Stu, you take those words back, buddy. And so yeah, man. Look, I guess maybe I'll see you guys Sunday night, and of course we'll be back next Tuesday for sure. See if there's any new news, any New Year's news. Maybe we'll critique Mariah Carey's New Year's Eve performance. Who knows how that's going to go? And then you guys tomorrow night, I know 3-Star Draw is going to be on with Krusty Old Crow doing their Backyard Battlefield, and they probably are going to go, I assume, up through midnight, or at least up to Crow's New Year's, which would be like 11 Central my time, but I believe so. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway. So yeah, man, y'all have a great New Year's. I'm gonna shut her down, man. And Matthew, you have a great New Year's as well, buddy. And here's to a better one next year.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Yeah, man. Thanks, y'all. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you next week. Appreciate it.